Now, I've seen the events that are actually going on in the world, and it's going to get worse. I'm telling you. I've just seen a tip of the iceberg. Of course, the Americans ushered in Donald Trump, and he came with a lot of staff, a lot of orders, and all that. And people are upset everywhere. The LGBTQ are now crazy about it. The Day are crazy about everything. And I'm telling you for free, it's going to get worse. The world is going to get worse until every one of us starts fixing themselves. We are constantly trying to look for a validation, and that's the reason why we pick sides in every story. We have to pick sides. We have to have an opinion about things in life, which is wrong. You're not supposed to have any opinion about anything, because when you have an opinion, one, you're becoming of intellect, which is evil. Number two, you're becoming judgmental, and you know very well judgment is a sin. And in this platform, we operate under the commandments. We don't care about the morals, we don't care about the values, we care about commandments. Okay? And that is what we are supposed to chase. So this channel is here to actually show you that there are only two sides of the story in life. The spiritual aspect of life has only two faces. We have the good face and the evil face. And the battle is always between these two. The battle between the evil and the battle between the good. The battle between what is right and what is wrong. It is that simple. The moment you will see life in that angle, you will get to understand what I'm talking about. Because I still understand. Up to now, there are people who don't understand my language. And the reality is, if you don't understand that language, you would rather not understand anything I teach about medicine. But this language of identities, you have to. Imagine, look at yourself getting angry over nothing. Look at yourself judging people over nothing. Look at yourself making opinions and commenting and taking sides and being angry at people just because, one, they are either in the umbrella and you are not. Two, because you're a Christian, they are Muslim, or the other way around. Three, because you think you're rich, they are poor. So you actually create these boundaries around you. That is not the intention that God created you for. And that's why we remind you of these things here. We are here to remind you that, you know what, all of us are equal before the eyes of God. All of us have a role, and our role is to choose the spirit that lives in us. Understand, everything that you've done in life, you're not responsible for. And anytime you're thinking that you have a free will, anytime you're thinking that you know everything, anytime you're thinking that you have control, you don't. You don't. If you had a free will, things will be working for you. Why are others working and others not working? Why are you praying and nothing is happening? And if it happens, it's actually coming from your father, the devil. I just put up a small video to just open up your head a little bit. And of course, if you go to the comment section, you will see what I talk about every single day. Emotional people, people with anger, and they're just looking for a place to actually lash this anger. They will be in the comment section. So that video I was saying that most of the things that we ask from God, we are not even talking to God. We're actually praying to our father, the devil. Every time we are praying from our minds, we are actually praying from our imagination, and that is praying to the father devil. We are just praying to your devil. So any response that is coming from you praying from the mind, those ideas that you have when you're praying, those demands that you make when you're praying, even if you are on the knees, even if you're fasting for 10 days, those demands that you're making from your imagination, you're just praying to the devil. Because the devil understands a prayerful person is a very dangerous person. So the devil does not like you praying silently from the heart. He will give you all the ideas. He will talk to you. He will take you out of the prayer so that you can concentrate on your imagination. And he knows he cannot destroy you. So the only way to destroy you is to deceive you through your own imagination. And therefore you end up destroying yourself. So he is so angry when you're there praying from your heart. He is there trying to talk you out of forgiving your mother and forgiving your father to get your identity back from them. He's the one who is telling you, you've never wronged your mother. You've never hated your mother. He's the one who is telling you, you know what, you're raising your children in a very, very positive way. He's giving you all these false ideas. He's actually making you to impose these ideas in your children and messing them up by imposing your identities in these children. So the more you have ideas in your head, even the idea of thinking that you know God is already the false idea that you actually don't know God. It's actually a sign that you don't know God. Because when you have ideas, it makes you remodel God into your own image. It takes you to the intellect side. And everybody is born with the Spirit of God. Everybody is born with light. Everybody is born with the kingdom inside them. And everybody is born with the scripture in their hearts. So when you're reading the Bible, when you're reading the Quran, and then you believe in the Bible or you believe in the Quran, you've messed up. Because why are you believing in a holy book instead of believing in God? When you believe in anything, it becomes your God. It controls you. You become of intellect. You fail from the path of common sense, because every child is born with common sense. But intellect comes in to dilute common sense. And now all you're thinking is you know better, you understand better, you know everything, you must have an opinion. And anybody who is not practicing what you're practicing in terms of religion, if you're a Christian, anybody who doesn't read the Bible or who doesn't conform to the orders from that book is your enemy. If you're a Muslim, if anybody does not read the Quran, you don't identify him as a brother or a sister. Then which God are we serving? How is it possible that you've served your God all this time and you're still having anger? How can you know God and yet still have anger and still hate people? How can you know God and still judge people? And yet the same God tells you judgment is a sin. So who is this God you're serving? That tells you actually have the spirit of evil and is actually giving you ideas to think that you actually know God. You don't. No, you don't. Know yourself, be aware. Once you're aware of yourself, you'll know, I'm evil or I'm the good person. Because everything you do is a control or is actually under influence of the spirit that lives inside you. And the weird part is, remember, we were born with the spirit of righteousness, we were born with light. But our parents were the first people to actually teach us hate, teach us anger. They were the first person the first people to impart their false identities in us. So they remodeled us into their own image. God does not want you to remodel your children into your own image. But you've done that, right? So immediately you start modeling your children in your own image. These children will resent you because they will never have an identity. They will have a false identity from you. Now, shida zitaanza hapo. They will be angry just like you. They will be evil just like you. And they will pass that to their children. And they will call it generational curse. So already, if you don't understand my message, now understand that your parents remodeled you into their own image. When your mother was punishing you, she was trying to make you avoid the mistakes that she did. So she tried to remodel you into a mini her. And then you became just like her. Angry, evil, insecure, a lot of hate inside you, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt and concern. And because you are in a fallen state, because you've been taught to be in a fallen state, you walked out of the path of righteousness, the path of complete and perfect peace. So you fell into a fallen state. Now that fallen state, whether you like it or not, coming back to your path, you will have to forgive your mother. You'll have to actually win off the false identities that you have in your head. You'll have to doubt every single thought in your head because it's not your thought. It was put there by somebody. And once you overcome that, that's when you lose the anger. How many of you have anger? Every time I have conversations with people around the world, you ask somebody, do you have anger? First things first, they start running. They start thinking of us. Do you have anger issues? If somebody asks you about anger, stop going into your thoughts because the devil is trying to lie to you. You know what? You don't have anger issues. So who asked you about anger issues? I just asked you, do you have anger? And of course, you know if you have anger. But the devil will always want to make sure that you quote this so that you feel good. So I ask you, do you have anger? You say, I don't have anger issues. And I tell you, so you never get angry. You're like, I do get angry because I'm human. So how can you get angry without anger? And then I ask you, what makes you more angry? You tell me, oh, my children, oh, my husband, oh, my boyfriend, oh, things around me, oh, my staff in the office. Oh, when I do things and somebody does not do things the way I want them to be done, I get triggered. You don't get triggered. You have anger inside you. The only thing that happens is people from outside you or things from around you, things in the world, are actually helping you or actually exposing your anger. They are helping you to exercise that anger that you have from inside you. So stop blaming people. It's about you because you're the one who has control over your emotions. So then how can somebody trigger you when you have control over your emotions? Now they start saying, oh, by the way, you have a point. You have a point. Now I start telling them, you see now, the more you deny the truth, the more you suffer. Because how can you say you know God and you have anger? A heart that has anger, one, can never harbor love. And number two, it is always willing to destroy. It is always willing to destroy. Sylvia Mason is in the building. Stella Toto, I see you. I see the girl Riri. Karibuni sana. Monique, I see you. So if you've not understood it up to there, please understand that you are not responsible for anything that you've done in your life before. Whatever is taking you into your past life is an imagination. That's the devil trying to control you. You don't have a past. You don't have a future. You only have now. YouTube is live. Yes. Hose, H-A-W-S, with Dr. Lewis Muchile. Just go there and check out. Hose, H-A-W-S. So you see that? So you cannot have a love and anger in the same heart. There's no way you can have light and darkness in the same heart. When light comes in, darkness disappears. Now you've been made to believe that heaven is somewhere up here, and that you have to suffer here. When you suffer here, you die. When you die, you will go to heaven and just kuchota tu asali ndani ya river and milk and honey as you sing. So you're even having ideas of heaven. Yet the real thing is, even in that heaven, because it's inside you, it's a spirit that lives there. You will not live there physically. So spirits don't drink milk. So it's time for you to unlearn what you've been taught, because it's actually a lie. And trust me, nobody should ever teach you about or teach you God. Nobody. You are born with God, so therefore you know God. No preacher, no nothing, nobody can ever teach you about God. We can teach you about physical things. We can teach you about how to make a car. We can teach you how to drive. We can teach you things in school to just brainwash you and actually take you away from the common sense and impart the evil nature in you through intellect. Once you've imparted the evil nature in you through intellect that you learn in school, in churches, at your workplace, once we are doing that, we are running you away from the real case. We are running you away from common sense. And we are making you to think you know better. Oh, people who have read the Bible, people who have gone to school, they are the people who are most arrogant because they think they are specialists. They think they know better about a specific subject. That at this moment in time, you cannot ask your pastor a question. So you actually believe in your pastor. Your pastor becomes your God. He controls you. And when you believe in your pastor or your spiritual leader, that becomes your God. Now you've fallen from your path of righteousness. You're in the fallen state. You will have to forgive that pastor for you to come back to your path. There is a price to pay. A price has to be paid for you to come back to your path. And that price involves you forgiving people that imparted their false identities in you. Your parents being number one on the list. And the beauty about it is this: the order of God is always God above man, men above women, women above children. If that order is maintained, everything will be in order. Everything will work for you. But nowadays, look at women trying to compete with masculine roles in men. Look at men becoming more feminine. So these gender issues and debates, all these things are destabilizing the order of God. And when the order of God is destabilized, if men become feminine, if men start sharing bills with women, if men start being provided for by women, there is no love, because love has to flow from God to man, man to woman, woman to children. Now there's no man. So how do you expect your children to have love? They'll have anger. And now they'll have to overcome you as a man for being weak. And when a man is weak, women become angry at him. Every woman wants a strong man, a man who knows God. But most men don't know God. They get married without knowing God. So they are empty. They're insecure. They are jealous. They are afraid of losing the woman. They can't control the woman. Basically, not control. They can't actually pass instructions to the woman because they're afraid of this woman. And the reason why men are afraid of women is because inside them, they have a woman. Their mother is trying to control them through their mindset. So they have identities of their mothers. Oh, you tell a man to go and forgive their mothers and overcome the nature of their mothers in their head. Look at them getting angry. Look at them trying to tell you, what are you telling me? I don't hate my mother. But as they're sounding feminine, they're emotional. You're wondering, how are these emotions here? Because emotions are the nature of a woman. Therefore, the one who taught you emotions, you must overcome her. And that is your mother. So before you even get into a union called a marriage, because it's ordained by God, most of you are just in these two small chamas with your wife. It's not a marriage. It's just a chama. And because you did a wedding, you think a wedding is a marriage. It's not. Wedding is a fantasy. It's not a marriage. Marriage actually starts after the wedding. Now remember, tulikuchangia. You put us in our WhatsApp group, kukuchangia, so that you can afford that woman. Mistake number one. You did not afford her in the beginning. If you wanted to afford her, you would know 80% of that wedding should have been funded by you, so that you don't disturb other fellow men. Sir Jeremy is saying I sound bitter. I mean, you have opinions over it, no problem, sir. You are in a fallen state. I have to understand you. One day you'll come back and understand. For those of you who have been here all through, they understand my language. You are in a fallen state, and that's just understandable. We can't judge you. Imagine, we can't. So we'll allow you to actually think that this guy is sounding bitter. We'll allow you. That's one of the ways you do when you are in a fallen state. You create an opinion, and you want to sound right. Always you're seeking validation. You're seeking validation. Always looking for something to actually make sure you feel comfortable. You feel comfortable. Some of you don't even get the message that I preach. You're there trying to look for a mistake. You're thinking that one day I'll get upset, so they'll actually come guns blazing. Oh, you know what? You get angry and you teach us about anger. I'm like, hi. Well, utatezeka, my friend. You see, just live your life, bro. Accept yourself, be aware of yourself, and stay that way. Don't even care about you are in the world, but not of the. You're actually in the world, but not of the world. So stop thinking about me. Think about you. How can you fix you? Okay, fix yourself. So some of us are in these small chamas with our wives, thinking that we actually we married somebody's daughter. We didn't. We were chasing a thrill, a sexual thrill, and now we are sex addicts because every night we want to ejaculate. And those 5 days that your wife is in attending her periods, you are the most angry man because ejaculation is there. So now you have to, to go around looking for another thrill to actually just ejaculate and satisfy that thrill. You ejaculate today, it's never enough. You want another ejaculation. So we are always chasing thrills and validation. We think sex is going to make us complete. We get the sex, we want another. We think dating and marrying beautiful women is going to make us complete. We get one, we want another. We think we want a good job, a good paying job. We get the good paying job, it's never enough. We want another one. We think if I get this type of money, I'll live this type of lifestyle. You get that money, that lifestyle, you start living it, it's not enough. You want something else. So you're constantly chasing thrills and you're always inadequate. So how are you inadequate? Yet you claim you know God. Yet God says that through him who has power over spirituality, he has made you complete. So then how are you incomplete? How are you having fear? How are you having doubt? I've seen most people telling me, Doc, sometimes you say these things and these things can actually trigger the pharmaceutical companies and they will come after you. I'm like, why are you thinking about it that way? Why don't you just pick the lesson and keep moving? I've seen people telling me, oh, you know what? My future is bright. And just because I'm suffering now, I'm going to enjoy the future. I ask you, do you have 10 minutes from now? You're like, yes, I do have 10 minutes from now. And then I ask you, how do you know? Again, crickets. Now you start thinking, oh, okay, I'm an Ishika. So it's going to get worse unless we fix ourselves. We will constantly blame the external environment around us. But the real case, the real war is inside us because our real world is inside us. Right? Pay attention to what is happening inside you. You know very well you're an evil person. You know very well you have anger. Anybody who has anger is an evil person. You must overcome that anger. It's an evil emotion. Anybody who has pride, anybody who glorifies his career, that becomes your God. It controls you. You're the nature of evil. Anybody who is constantly in their thoughts, thinking of the future and the past, you have the nature of evil. Anybody who thinks, oh, you know what, I keep on overreacting. Oh, I am an overthinker. Oh, I am depressed. That is the nature of evil. We need to overcome that. So two things are involved here. You either choose to suffer and die, or you choose to die and live. Two things are involved. Either choose to suffer and die in your nature of evil and keep suffering, or you die from the nature of evil and resurrect in the nature of good. You forgive those that you resent, you let their false identities go. Once you let those false identities go, you resurrect in the nature of life and you become a superhuman. You have perfect peace. You will not care about people. You will not think you love your children. You will not think you love your mother, because when you think you love them, you have ideas. That is the devil trying to lie to you. He's deceiving you. So anytime you're asking God for a car, guess what he gives you? Nothing. Satan will give you a car. You ask God through prayers. Oh God, you know, I've been serving you faithfully, and this year it's my year of manifestation. I need a car. Oh, that is you praying to your devil. Your father is in your head. Mr. Devil is trying to tell you, pray this way. As you pray that way, he gives you that car. Oh, and then you come. He comes and tells you, please go and say God gave you a car. Of course, your God, aka Satan. Oh, God, thank you for giving me this car. Now you are unable to fuel that car. Now he tells you, go and steal to them through consultation fees so that you can actually afford fueling that car. I come and I steal from you guys. I steal from you guys so that I can afford to fuel the car that I actually, my father, the devil, gave to me. And he lies to you, you know what, this car came from God. So go and praise God. Go and praise God for giving you a car. Remember this, God is not here to give you a car or a house or a good life. Your role is to seek God and the truth, and then the rest shall be added. The rest shall be added. That's where we miss the point. For him, you seek him and serve him. and the rest shall be added. So anytime you realize you're asking for something from him, you're asking something from your father, the devil. Understand that. It's the same way if you are married as a man, or you married somebody's daughter, and then she asks you to buy food, you are not a man, because it's your nature to actually provide food, shelter, and clothing. So if she goes ahead and asks you for food or asks you for clothing, you have failed as a man, because automatically you're supposed to provide. You provide, so she'd never have to ask. And this is what I'm saying, the basic needs. People start saying, oh, Dr. Lay said a woman should ask what she wants from. Those things that you're asking from your man, sometimes, actually most of the times, things that women ask from their men are what they want. And what a woman wants is not what she needs. What a woman wants is not what she needs. Men should provide the needs, not the wants. If you're playing a role 100% in terms of needs, the wants disappear. Whatever she's asking for is not what she needs, is what she wants. So anytime you're asking God for something, the one who responds is the devil. Amazing. Somebody was asking me a good question here. Doc, what about manifestations? Let me tell you. What are you manifesting for? You look into a mirror and say, I am beautiful and wonderfully made. Yeah? And next year I want this, so that your mind goes into that, the energy flows there, and you buy a car. It's a lie of the year. Whatever you are thinking, that is the nature of the devil. He's trying to manipulate you through your own thoughts. Believe me, without even manifestation, your only role is to seek God and the truth. Once you do that, all these things will be added unto you. Therefore, you'll never need to manifest. What are you manifesting for? Living in the future that you don't even have? Validating yourself for something that is not even there. Who cares about your beauty? We don't. Because there's somebody who sees you as beautiful, the other one sees you as a very, very, very weird looking woman. So what are you manifesting for? Seek God, let the rest be added unto you. Is that simple? So we've read books, we've read these things, we've done meditation and all these things, and we've gone into the nature of intellect and we think we know it all. And you know what? Most of the times, things, when I say things that actually relate to you, can relate to directly. Oh, you feel nice. You feel nice. Oh, you'll glorify me. By the daktari amesema kitu ambayo inanihusu. This doctor is saying something. But anytime I tell you the truth, oh, you'll resist. That's why most men lie. Of course, most men lie because they're just evil. But most men lie to women because women fall in love with what they hear. And men fall in love with what they see. No wonder women make up. They put on makeup, they put on the fake butt and all that. Because they know weak men will fall for what they see, and weak women will fall for what they hear. So therefore, weak men are lying to weak women. And the anger is on that other side. This other side, it doesn't matter. Oh, no provider will tell you, oh, baby, I love you. It doesn't matter. Loving a woman basically means provide, protect, and show her leadership. Once you do those three things, you don't have to tell her all the time, babe, I love you. By the men, anytime you tell a woman you love her, you don't. You're in your imagination and you're seeking validation. Because most times somebody tells you I love you, they want you to say I love you too. So they were saying it for the wrong reasons. They wanted you to respond back so that they feel good. If they say I love you, then you tell them, oh, thank you. Yeah, in their head, they are boiling. They are boiling, my friend. Because they expected a response so that they feel good. They were seeking validation. They are empty inside them, and they think when they tell you I love you and you tell them I love you too, they become complete. Trust me, it's a thrill. That's why they still text you at lunch hour. Oh, babe, I love you. Before you even respond, another text is coming in. Hey, man, you have time. My brother, you have time. You're chasing a thrill. Because if you love somebody, you don't tell them. You do, because love is an action. You simply do that. Love them by providing, by protecting, and showing them leadership. And a woman will love a man by respecting and submitting. It's that simple. But oh, babe, I love you. If any case, I told you last time, women are incapable of loving a man. They don't have love for men. They have love for their children. So if a woman loves a man, she has gone against the nature of God, the order of God. And now the man becomes the son. So she's looking at you as the son. She starts to resent you because you cannot provide and you're the man here. But now you're the son. So you cannot provide. So she has to breastfeed you by providing. So anytime you're there at night, you're trying to caress her and suckle the breast and all that, you're actually in your own imagination, and she's actually looking at you. Oh, this is my son. Let my son just enjoy the milk. Amazing. Let me bring in the first person. Expound on the asking part when praying. Monique, this is the point. Anything you're asking for is not what you need. There are things that you need, and there are things that you want. Whatever you want is what is coming from your imagination. Okay? It's coming from your mind, your imagination. And the devil lives here in your imagination. He knows this is your weakest point, so he controls you through that imagination. So he will lie to you to ask for something that you need. Oh, let me ask for a car. Let me pray for a car. That thought is not your thought. It's a thought from the devil. Because you're chasing a thrill. You are empty. So you're chasing a thrill. Oh, I want a house. You want a house. It's a thrill. From inside, you're empty. So you're thinking, if that house comes, I'll be complete. And you're thinking, if God provides this house, now that becomes a true God. You see that? So you now have orders. I prayed to get a house. If he doesn't provide that house, you now start judging God. I mean, I've been praying for a house. He has never done that for me. Now you become an atheist. You see that? But imagine if you had an identity and you knew God, automatically you attract a man who provides. So that man will have a house. So therefore, a woman will not worry about having a house because she'll move into a house that was already created by this man or built by this man. And that's the point. Because why are we praying for things that we already have or that we need to actually have? Because in a marriage, you're supposed to move in with somebody who already has a house, somebody who is having who can provide. But nowadays, ladies are being married in Airbnbs. A man invites you in an Airbnb. You saw the other one who got married during Mandamano. You meet somebody and you have same interests, same thrills. You get married. Did they even last? And that is what we saw. How about you, who we don't see? How about you, who constantly posts photos for validation? How about you, who in those chamas of women, you're busy telling them about how your husband is doing this and doing that, and you're busy imparting false identities in them, and they go ask their husbands, why are you not doing this to me? Yet, you know very well you're lying to them. You're lying to these women so that you look good. So anything you're asking for from God, God will not give you that. God will not give you that. The one who will give you that is Satan, because you're praying to him through imaginations. Your role is to seek God, and through that, he will add the rest to you. What you need exactly. So if you seek God, you'll not have to ask for a car because you will have it. But if you ask for a car, you're not seeking God, you're seeking material stuff. Next now is an insurance policy. Next now is fueling the car. Next now is service. And now you start saying, you got him in Chokesha. You now put on a sticker for sale. Good, let's take in the first guests and see what they have to say. So most of us are resenting our mothers without even knowing because they impose their false identities in us. But most men are walking out here with the identities of their mothers. And when they talk or roll a conversation, you simply sense the feminine energy. They are so quick to get angry. They are very emotional. And they are wondering, where is this coming from? They don't like being emotional as men. But if you tell them the route to get back their masculine side in order by forgiving their mother so that they overcome that evil nature, that fearful nature, that worry, that doubt, and those false identities that they have, they don't want to go that route. Who is this? Yes, this is who? This is Kibuntu. Kibuntu, are you there? Kibutu, kindly turn off your at least mute your television and then have a conversation with me. I can hear myself from your background. This one is not ready.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, how are you, doctor?
All is well. How are you?
I'm also fine.
How do you know you're fine?
Wow, that's a hard question.
Amazing.
How do I know I'm fine? Because I'm healthy.
How do you know you're healthy?
And how do I know that I'm healthy? Okay, I've learned a little bit about health and wellness in your YouTube channel,
Mm.
and so far so good.
Okay.
There's an improvement. It's now like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we swept our kitchen,
Okay.
and then tukaweka vizile vitu vizuri like like the good part. Like we swept our kitchen, like now we are good.
Oh,
The meal that we are taking is good.
okay.
Such.
All right. Take me through your story. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask what's the cause of depression and anxiety?
The absence of God in your life.
Oh, okay.
If you never read about depression, would you know you're depressed?
No, I wouldn't know.
So somebody actually taught you how to be depressed. Taught you that these are symptoms of depression, and if you experience this type of symptoms, know that you are depressed, right?
Yes.
That is the point. So somebody taught you the nature of evil, and you believe the nature of evil. You allowed evil to sit in you, and now you're depressed. Look at it this way: what are the things that depress somebody? For example, do you think you're depressed?
No.
And do you think depression comes from the trees or it comes from somewhere?
It comes from somewhere.
And where is that?
I don't know if it's the spiritual world or if it's in my mind. I'm not sure.
Exactly. That spiritual mind is what you're talking about. In your mind is where the devil lives, the nature of evil. In your heart is where God lives, the nature of good. So most people who are depressed, they are not depressed from their heart, they are depressed from their minds. They are depressed because they don't have a job. They are depressed because the marriage is not working. They are depressed because everything around them is not working. So they wanted to actually make themselves comfortable by pleasing whatever is happening around them. So they are off the world. They are in the world and off the world. So they will keep on being depressed, and we will actually make sure that they get more depressed by giving them antidepressants. But the only thing they need to do is they need to actually get out of their imagination. Because if any case, all is well anyway. All is well. If they drop those false identities, they'll realize everything is just functioning well. Because how is it possible you are the only one who is depressed? He's in imagination. He's like just quite cheesy, a crazy person. He is the only one who knows he's crazy. But we, as the medical practitioners and the psychiatrists, we cement it by giving you the guidelines and then telling you are depressed by running some questions on you. We call it DSM-5. We read these questions to you, and as you answer, we confirm you're depressed. And then we give you drugs that will make you more depressed. So the real case is depression is nothing. It is nothing but what is in your mind. And guess what? Most people who are depressed, they have a very messed up gut. They eat very crappy foods, so therefore their mind is not nourished properly. And number two, they have the nature of evil inside them because they are seeking external validation. They are angry. Like, you look at it this way: how can you know God, a God of completeness, and then be depressed? Is it possible?
No, it's not possible.
Yeah, so they are looking at it in terms of the physical aspect. They are thinking depression is a condition, a disease. Now they have to handle the symptoms of depression using medication. But the real case is that depression is actually you having an empty heart. Because you're thinking, let's say you're depressed because you lost a job. If you get another job, you think you'll walk out of that depression?
No.
You won't, because you will be seeking another thrill. So again, another thrill will actually depress you. If you actually, your marriage failed as a man and you got depressed because of a failed marriage, the reality is it is not the marriage that failed. It is you who failed as a man. You got into a marriage without having the ability to provide, without having the ability to protect, because you're not physically and mentally well, because you did not lead, because possibly the woman was older than you, or you sired children because of aimless ejaculation, and now they are depressing you because you cannot pay their school fees. So the responsibility will still come to you, and you must fix yourself. So whatever you do, even in a depressive state, sit in a corner, you'll just die, because nature does not care. So you'll have to take some responsibility, win off the thoughts, win off these false identities that make you think that a good life must look this type of way. Nowadays, most people are depressed because of just going to Instagram and TikTok. You come to Instagram, you scroll around, and you see people are living a lavish lifestyle. You get depressed because you want that life. You see, again, you're trying to seek external validation. You're trying to actually please an external thrill, seek an external thrill. But the real world is happening inside you. So pay attention to what is happening inside you. If it's a job, go find a job. It's that simple. If it's a marriage that is broken, you can't fix a broken mirror. Drop it. Okay? And then make sure as a man or as a woman, you must get to know God. Drop all the false identities that are coming from church, from the mosque, from all these sides of the story, from the Bible and all that. And then simply forgive the people that you actually resent. And you see, a depressive state is an emotional state. And emotions are coming from the nature of a woman. So therefore, that tells you, go and forgive your mother to overcome her nature. Once you overcome your mother's nature, depression goes through the window. You start seeing things in a bigger perspective. You'll go seek a job, masculine roles. You see that? And then you don't live in the future. You live in the present. You see, we are depressed because we are thinking the future has to be bright for us. It doesn't have to be, because you don't have it. Live now. If you live now, you'll never have a reason to get depressed.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
Wow, I've learned something.
yes.
And I'm grateful.
Amazing. I'm glad you've learned something. Let me tell you guys, the reality is, people who are depressed, they're thinking that miraculously something will come and pick them from that corner of depression. They're thinking that drugs will come to change their situation in that. Antidepressants, their number one side effect is cause depression. The one who diagnosed you of depression, did you know most of the psychiatrists and psychologists are actually depressed? Have you seen the behavior of these people? Have you seen the behavior of your psychiatrist? And you're there thinking that this guy is going to solve my problems. And we've normalized that these people who are educated, very educated. We've normalized the fact that we used to think that if somebody is so educated, they will run mad. The crazy people in the society were the most wise. They were the most knowledgeable. So we've normalized that a crazy person or somebody who is well read is crazy because he sees things that we don't see. He's just full of intellect. And that is actually depressing him because he has fallen from the path of common sense, his intellect. So even him, he will not teach you how to forgive because he doesn't understand it. He's also in the fallen state. He's seeing the darkness. And until he forgives those who imparted a false identity in him, he cannot even guide you out of that depressive state. He can't. So he will be there reading guidelines. There's this thing called DSM-5. They will read questions to you, and as you answer, they will diagnose you of depression. So imagine you're being diagnosed of depression from a guideline. Yet we understand depression is lack. You don't have something. You're empty because you don't have the spirit of right. You don't have God inside you. So instead of somebody telling you the truth, hey, you need to man up, you need to find a job. Sitting in that corner, you'll die because nature does not care. You sit in that corner, you'll just die. And you think about it, you're the only one in that family that is depressed. You think people care. You're the only one who is depressed. So it's time for you to actually understand, you know what? In this depressive state, I am in a fallen state. I have to actually wake up. And until you do that, oh, so you're depressed because you lost a loved one. He's not coming back. And the weird part is, if he comes back, you will run. Now you'll have energy. You will not even depressed. You will not even be depressed anymore. You will find energy to run away from this guy who's just resurrected. If your marriage broke, your marriage is not working and you're busy trying to fix it, you cannot fix adults. You cannot fix a broken marriage. You can't. So why are you there? And let me tell you, some of the depression state that we see are self-inflicted. Where I come from, in the Western region, a man will find satisfaction in ejaculation and marrying a second wife. Eh? He will look keenly. That today you have this wife and you start complaining, this wife is depressing me, this wife does not put on a contraceptive, he has given me 8 children, I did not want 8 children. Imagine a man complaining that way. I did not want 8 children. This wife has given me 8 children and all of them are girls. So you are chasing an ejaculation and a thrill to get a son. You ended up making her pregnant 8 times. And now you're saying, this one is always giving me girls. This one must be bewitched. Who ni mchawi? 8 girls, I want a boy. So the 9th one comes again, a girl. Why did you ejaculate when you thought she was bewitched? And now you decide, you know what? These 8, I'm tired. I don't want these ones. So I have to be a man. Getting a son will make me a man. You go to look for another woman to actually satisfy you, another thrill of ejaculation. You ejaculate there. You get another daughter there. That is the 10th daughter. 10 children. You have nothing. 10 children, 2 wives, no nothing. Hey, and you're still thinking it's about them. Waluya, hey, you're still thinking it's about them. It's about you as a person. You're just chasing thrills. I've seen this all the time. Ever since I was born, I've seen these problems. Oh, bibi amenizalia wasichana peke, mimi sitaki wasichana. He moves on, gets sons. Huyu naye anazaa tu wanaume. Nitatoa wapi shamba? Now, whose problem is that? Monique, talking from experience, I was depressed last year. No, you are not depressed. Do not ever accept false identities. You are told you are depressed. You are told. If somebody never told you about depression, you didn't know you're depressed. Listen, your great-grandmother never got depressed, even with those 15 children. She knew and understood her role. The problem is we always try to go against the order of God, that God above men, men above women, women above children. If you follow that order, there's no depression. I'm telling you the truth. Because you'll understand your role and you'll play your role 100%. The problem is most of us want to play the men's role and then compete with men and then say, you know what a man can do, a woman can do is not possible. You can do your role as a woman 100% and a man can do his role 100%. That is 100% for each of you. So the more we start breaking this order of God, depression is coming in. Our role is just to make sure we cement the fact that you must think you're depressed. Now we put you on antidepressants. You know I want to pay bills, right? So I'll tell you are depressed. Once you believe it, you become. So don't say I was depressed. At least say they diagnosed you of depression. Talking from experience, I was depressed last year and was put on a lot of antidepressants. Lucy, it's always that is the solution. I learned that I was too angry with life and seeking so much validation. I wish I could speak my story here. Why don't you just speak your story? It will teach somebody a lesson. Please come and request on TikTok and just have a conversation with us. I hope you're on TikTok. I wish you could allow YouTube to actually bring that conversation on board. Yes, you see, let me tell you, one thing that depresses women a lot. Women want everything to work for them. But inside them, they don't have an identity. So whatever they want is actually coming from their father, the devil, in their heads. Now, whatever they want, they will get it because the devil will reward you. You want a husband early? Oh, Pap is here. You want children for you to get happiness? You know, I'm the father of happiness. Here are children. And then he tells you, say, children are a gift from God. That's the devil telling you that. Oh, you know, I want a good job. I want to be seated in an office just looking at glasses, and I want to send orders to everybody to just work the way I want. He gives you that job. Oh, but in that job, he gives you another woman who has attitude to the roof. Oh, at home, he gives you a male, not a man. He gives you a male who has no identity. He has his mother inside him. This man stresses you. It's like you are married to a lesbian. You guys are just two women in a marriage, a union. There's no marriage for lesbians. It's a union. So you come home, this man is always shouting. You come home, he's always moody. He's depressed. And now he's blaming you for his depression. So you must fix your identity. Once you fix your identity, you attract the energy. You attract who you are. So imagine you get that job from the devil, but you still have a false identity because you have his identity. He gives you a man who is messed up, doesn't know God. Gives you that same man that you've prayed for. I want this man, tall, dark, and handsome, with a good job, financially stable. He gives you a man who acts that position. Yeah, these guys who sell insurance policies, they are put on a tie, and they come here and tell you, oh, you know, this insurance policy is for $1 million, 3 million for this insurance policy. and with their tie and their folders, very well organized and all that, they sell you the idea, and you think, hey, this is the man. A man always in suits with that ile mstari as a katanzi. Hey, you look at this man, you're like, this one, I'm not leaving this one. Guess what? This guy just negotiates a corner, anakula mahindi choma, 5 shillings. Then takes water and comes back to sell you another insurance policy for 2 million. Same guy. Hey. So this is the guy you're getting. Because you ask for a man who is physically well built, well mannered, and all that. The devil gives you that exact man, but that man is just acting that role. Possibly he just wanted the legs. After he gets the legs, now you know, ay, kumbe alikuwa insurance. Ah. Hey, kumbe huyu ni wa commission. Ah, yeah. Now he has called you. Ay. There's a preacher, very well known preacher with a is it silver beard and hair? A guy speaks and everybody listens. He has this aura of speaking, and you have no option but just listen. This guy, very lawyer, tall guy and dark, and the guy who was seen cuddling the daughter all the time, and people were like, "Ah, Mtumishi, why are you behaving that way with your daughter? You know that gentleman?" And then he's there, he's always preaching and all that. He found God. That guy who has been conning people, selling cars and all that. There was a lady who came in complaining, this guy conned me money. You know him? Yes, that one. This guy conned me money. He told me going to bring a car from Mombasa to here. I've waited for that car for a lifetime. And now he's a preacher. You know what? I don't have a past. I am a preacher. Sit there with suits. And everybody just says, man of God, man of God, man of God. Say it. We want to hear it. You are raw as crazy. Say it. Hey. Wewe. Nasema nini? So we are gullible because we don't have an identity. So if you don't have an identity, everything makes sense. And they have mastered that art of manipulating your mind. They manipulate your mind and you feel like, yeah. I wish I was him. I wish I would. And now women are thinking, I wish I was his just wife. Hey, kwa ground. Kwa ground. So we are constantly living in our thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to market my platforms. One, Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube. That's a very, very interesting mini library for health matters. Hey, you guys, mimi sina lawyer na mimi sijasema mtu. Wale ambao wanasema sijui ati Robert. Robert ni nani? I don't know Robert. I don't know who that is. Me, I don't know. Who is that? Anyway, so I have a YouTube channel called Health and Wellness Spot. That is a YouTube channel that has all the health information that you need. I have another YouTube channel that we are live on right now. It's called Dr. Lewis Muchile, or HAWS, HAWS, with Dr. Lewis. Find that YouTube channel. It's the one that actually rolls these Identity Friday sessions. So go there and subscribe to those two channels. That's the only thing I'm asking from you. Subscribe to those channels. And as you sit there listening to me, shouting, kindly like the live. Why? Because when you like it, it gets to reach more people. They get to know more about us. They get to learn something new just the same way you've learned it. So you'll be a boring audience if you don't like the live. It's the only thing that I'm asking from you. Go ahead and like the live, specifically people on YouTube. I enjoy that. Then we have our physical consultations that are starting in Nairobi on the 28th of this month, and they will roll for 2 weeks all the way to the 7th of February. That is going to happen in Nairobi. So you can actually start booking your appointments at this moment in time, because we want to arrange those appointments faster. We clear those consultations. We have these conversations that are healthy, and then we move. So the number is 0707074722. Use WhatsApp. Text on WhatsApp what you need from us. We will be responded to. You will be responded to, and the instructions shall be given to you. Follow those instructions and wait for us to communicate to you. Be patient because you need it. Use WhatsApp, I insist, because I'll say this and somebody will still go ahead and call and then tell me, oh, you know what, you're not picking the calls. Use WhatsApp. There's a lot of calls coming in. We cannot handle that. Please, just text on WhatsApp. They will respond to you. Now we have merchandise. Team Kekeli has pinned that contact there. Good. We have merchandise that we sell. Fermented cabbages, the roasted coffee and the grounded coffee, and sheep tallow. All these are at Imenti House, second floor, shop number 60. There's a gentleman there called Brian Omwenga. He's going to serve you faithfully. So get there and do what you have to do. And that gentleman is actually a guy who is a specialist in computer stuff. So yeah, if you have problems with computers, he actually sort you out. He's a very good gentleman called Brian Omwenga at Imenti House. And on my Telegram, I have a Telegram channel called Health and Wellness Sport. I post his numbers there, so you can actually go there and pick that number and give him a call. He can arrange your delivery. Okay? Good. And then the same number can actually be used to book online consultations. Those online consultations, I believe they will happen. I think we are booked up to Sunday or so. So the next will come in from Tuesday henceforth. So use that contact to inquire and book your appointments for both the physical and the online consultations that are going to happen in Nairobi. We have weight loss programs that run every month. We alternate between 3 months and 2 months. So this January, we are already into 2 weeks of a 3 months program. In February on 15th, another one will start. It's a 2 months program. That one is a very aggressive one. So this requires people who have joined in before, people who have tried weight loss programs before. They understand they can do an OMAD easily. You can join in to just challenge yourself and become better. But if you are a new person into these programs and you want to actually just learn through the process, you can actually join the 3 months program that starts in March on the 15th. I hope that is clear. We can now proceed. And now, if you're on TikTok, you can request to be a guest. We need you here. We need the conversation. I need those questions to be answered on in terms of asking. I want you to ask so that I can actually answer it, so that you understand it. I don't want you to live this life the same way you leave the church. You go to the church, you pray, you speak in tongues, and come out with the same problems. We don't want you to be that person. We want you to actually get your solutions. And you actually have the solutions. We only guide you to getting those solutions from within you. Okay? So we want to answer those questions. So don't leave this live, because again, after today, we are breaking until after, possibly in February. So we don't want to leave you hanging and keep on thinking, Dr. Lewis said this, what did he mean? I am still confused about this. Do not be confused when you're here. We can roll this conversation until the time you want us to end it. But be here, request on TikTok to be a guest, have this conversation, and let me answer your questions. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Kopo la maji. If YouTube allowed, we would have done a worship song. By the way, this is not a church, so do not confuse me with your pastor. Nobody should teach you God. You have God inside you. You have the kingdom in you. What we are doing here, we are fellowshipping. No, never allow somebody to teach you about God or God. Never. You are born with God. There is no broker. Let us teach you about anything else. Let's talk to 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗖𝗍. Now, word of the night. Anytime you're looking for answers from outside you, anytime you seek or you look for answers from outside yourself. Hello? Anytime you're seeking or looking for answers from outside yourself, you are actually abandoning yourself. You are falling in the nature of intellect and falling away from the nature of common sense. So anytime you're seeking or trying to find answers from outside yourself, you're abandoning yourself. It's time for you to stop abandoning yourself. There is no answer that is coming from without you. It's coming from within you. Pay attention to the real world that is happening inside you. The real world is inside you, not outside. Ako wapi the devil within? Kabla niingie initoke. The devil is inside you, brother. He is always inside you. And the reason why I'm saying the devil is inside you is because if you have anger, you have the devil. If you have doubt, if you try to live in the future, or you're living in the past, if you think you have a past, if you think you love people, if you think you love your parents or your children, that is the devil trying to control you. You have him inside you. Yes, Lens.
Hello, doctor.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Yes, talk to me.
My question is, how can I stop saving money? I believe I love money so much and taking a career. How can I stop doing that?
What makes you think you love money?
I think since I was young, I have always admired rich people. and people with a lot of things.
Okay, so did you come from an average family or a aka poor family? We call it humble beginnings.
No, middle class. My parents were teachers.
Oh, so who taught you this idea of chasing money? And who taught you that if you become rich, you look like other people?
I read from books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was young in high school.
Intellect. You read from books and you got attracted to what a man was actually sharing. He was just sharing his mindset. So you got attracted to his mindset and you thought that that was the best life to live, right?
Yes.
Good. The reality is this, bro. Money is not a solution to everything, and the reality is this: that money is very feminine. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Good. I want you to see it this way. One, money is feminine, and I want to teach you something about women. The moment you start chasing a woman, she runs away from you. And the moment you show no concern or you try to give up, she starts chasing you. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, that is true.
So money has the same characters. If you try to chase it, it runs away from you because money does not like people who are desperate. And again, money is a reward of you building something. For example, if you've worked so hard on your mindset to become super in terms of mindset, if you've learned a skill, if you've built a network of men around you who will actually make you a better person, and if you found an employment and that employment is actually supposed to be used to seek freedom, bro, money will come as a result of that. So you must be so powerful in terms of the mind. You must be in a good health state, because if you have money, if you get the money and then you have a kidney problem, the money goes to health. So you must be well in terms of the mental well-being. You must be so appropriate in terms of health, the physical health. You must have a spirit that guides you to actually seek God, so that the rest shall be added unto you. You see, you said you love money, therefore money became your God. So you can end up doing anything to get money. So money became your God, and now it controls you. It will get you into depression because you're constantly chasing it. And it's constantly running away from you. So stop chasing money, chase purpose. And the purpose is to seek God, because there's no other purpose than seeking God. Once you seek God, the rest shall be added unto you, including money. So money is a reward of you being in a very appropriate mindset, of you having your health in order, and you've heard that your network is your net worth. So if you have people who actually will build you and challenge you, you will make the money. But you see, you're chasing money thinking that I have to do this job. I've seen this happening to doctors. They have a job, they have a private practice, they still do locums. And they do all these things at once. And the money is never enough. They still have bills to pay. Because the more the money, the more the responsibility. And that's how money gets out of your pocket. Because look at yourself. You get your salary at the end of the month. You've waited for 30 days. Within the first 5 days, you don't have money. And now you have another chase again. So you have another 25 days to chase the money. So how long shall you chase the money? Understand that money does not need you to chase it. Money will come as a reward of you building yourself. You get that? Yes. So start seeking ye first and the truth, and the rest shall be added unto you. Bure, you'll get yourself into very vicious deals and you land in prison. And then in the prison, you'll still be chasing money. So you'll have to send us these text messages to con us, because you're still chasing the money. So stop chasing money, because it's feminine. The more you chase it, the more it runs away from you. So what do? Sit back, reanalyze yourself, go and forgive your parents for imparting a false identity in you. Go and face your mother and tell her, you know what, I've just realized that I've been resenting you and I want to free off myself from your false identity. So I apologize for resenting you. Face your father, because he was supposed to teach you these lessons, not me. So face him and tell him, Dad, I appreciate that you've raised me into a 26-year-old man who is always chasing money. But I appreciate that, and I think it's time for me to actually forgive you for resenting you for no good reason. So I apologize for resenting you for no good reason. You will overcome the spirit of your mother. You will overcome the spirit of your father. These false ideas of money will get off your mind, and now you'll have your own spirit. It will guide you on how to work, and then money will come as a result of that. Tumeelewana?
Alafu Doc, another question.
Yes.
How do I seek God?
How do you?
Seek ye first. How do you seek God?
By forgiving those that you resent without even knowing. And number one on the list is your mother, and number two on the list is your father. Seeking God basically means you must get an identity, and your identity is actually stolen by your parents who imparted their false identities in you by trying to remodel you into their own image when they were raising you up. So therefore, for you to drop these false identities, you go and face your mother and tell your mother, I apologize for resenting you for the longest time. And then whatever your mother says, she'll never bother you. Just tell her that. Once you tell her that, move on. Go and face your father and tell him, I actually apologize for resenting you. And now there you have your identity. Whatever your father says, she'll never bother you. Now realize the devil will start talking you out of that, because the devil will start telling you, you don't resent your mother. You don't resent your father. I mean, your mother has been so good. They raised you into this guy that you are. The devil will start giving you these false identities. You know, you are responsible, so your parents did a good job. That's the devil will be talking to you. That's how he talks to you and tries to talk you out of common sense. But either way, you must have that identity, because through that, you will get revelations from God. Because you see, when you have the spirit of emotions, chasing thrills, and here you have the spirit of the devil, and somebody imparted that spirit in you, and that was your parent. So you must overcome the nature of your parents so that you release these false identities, and then you build back your spirit of light. And through that spirit, God will reveal things to you. That's how you seek God.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Amazing, amazing. You're welcome, sir. You go and chase ye first. You go and seek ye first. Somebody is saying, a good one. What is this? How do we seek God? Yeah, you seek God by forgiving. Because you see, God is the spirit of light. You are born with God, okay? So if you're born with God, your only role is to actually shed off the evil spirit that was taught to you by your parents. And that will only happen by actually forgiving them and overcoming their false identities. And now you allow that identity of God to shine light. And through that identity, God will reveal things to you on how to actually operate, and then that spirit will actually guard you from the evil nature of human beings. What if the apology is not accepted? The beauty about life is you're not going there to ask them for forgiveness. You are going to forgive them. God says, forgive so that I can actually forgive you. So you're not going there to seek validation or to get them accepting your apology. It doesn't matter. They cannot forgive you because they are in a fallen state. That is one. Number two, human beings are incapable of forgiving. God is the one who forgives. So you're going to show God that, you know what, I'm getting these people here out of my path of getting my own identity. Because they made you fall out of your path of identity, now you have to come back. So coming back means you overcome them by forgiving them. Whether they accept it or not, they have no control. It's God who forgives. But you must show God that I'm getting them off my path so that my identity comes back. And through that identity, God will reveal things to you. So therefore, you'll do things that are just right. Because you are under control of the spirit that lives inside you. Okay, so you don't need them to actually accept the apologies. None of their business. What you need is the courage to face them and overcome them. And that is the hardest part. Once you do that, God takes that anger out of you, that inadequacy, that fear, that concern and doubt, and fills you back with spirit of light and your own identity. And then God does not speak to you because he doesn't have a voice. His voice is voiceless. So what he does is he reveals things through that identity, and then you'll just do right. Amazing, right? Talk about meditation. Most people call it meditation. I call it a silent prayer. Now, you see, most times when you're meditating, you're busy trying to fight with your thoughts. A silent prayer means you simply sit and close your eyes and then just pay attention to your thoughts, but do not act upon them. Allow both thoughts to flow in your head, the good thoughts and the bad thoughts. Let them just flow into your head. Okay, your role is to actually stay present. So let them just flow. Ziingia zikitoka. Let them go in and get out. Relax and then take about 10 minutes into that state. That's a silent prayer. That is you talking to God through your heart. But anything that you're praying from your mind, that is you praying to the devil. So most people call it meditation, but I tell you, meditation is you fighting with your mind. If you attain the state of cool, that is a silent prayer. And that's how God wants it. He wants you to pray from your heart, not from your mind. What if the parents are not alive? You go and forgive those that you actually resent, the ones that raised you, the guardians. You forgive them, you overcome them, and you move. Talk about manifestation. I've talked about it when we were starting this. Somebody asked about it. You don't need to manifest anything. The only thing you need to do is to seek God. The rest shall be added unto you, including those things that you want to manifest about. Because you see, somebody taught you how to manifest. So somebody taught you a false idea. They gave you a false idea. They ended up imparting their false identity in you, and you're thinking that is the right thing. Nobody is supposed to teach you about God. Go find God on your own by forgiving those that you resent, and then God shall manifest things to you through that identity. So therefore, you will not need to manifest because it's already manifested through their identity. I only see the channel but not the live. I don't know why that happens most of the times, because I think YouTube has a way of just controlling things. So most people tell me that. Normally I see, I've even pressed the notification bell, but I never get the notifications because, of course, you know what we say is not what most people want to hear. So they have a way of just doing that, and that's so unfair. It's crazy. Doc, nimework kwa 2 years na sijui huwa namaliza salary yangu na sija save anything. Is because you're working from your head, bro. Somebody taught you how to save money. Somebody told you need to get, and most of you actually working for, right now, it's so crazy. People are working for salary, for transport, rent, and food. And you see, you're thinking if you get more money, you'll get your problems cleared. But more money, more problems. And I'm telling you that for free. So the problem is you're totally into the identity of money. Munene, you're totally into the identity of money and you're thinking money is going to solve your problems. It's not going to do that. Even those who have money, those who have a lot of industries that gain them generation of money, they generate revenue for them, they still have problems. You'll get the money, yes, but you'll get a woman or you'll get a child. Most people have children who are actually drug addicts. They snort cocaine, and all their salary is actually 50% of their salary is going to afford cocaine for their children or rehab for their children. So the problem is you're focusing on money. You're not focusing on the process. You can even win a bet today and you'll go broke tomorrow because you're focusing on the wrong things. You're focusing on money instead of focusing on you being a better man, you having an identity. And then all other things will be added unto you. Right now, you are full of intellect. You're thinking because I have studied this, I deserve this type of money, I deserve this type of lifestyle. Stop comparing yourself with people. Stop thinking that that salary is there to actually make you live a good life. The salary is there to liberate you from slavery. Use that salary to buy a piece of land. Use that salary to actually liberate yourself and get into freedom. So that the job becomes now secondary to you. Now you'll not worry about the salary, you'll not worry about saving because you'll have everything in order. You'll have control over your own food, you'll have a home, and then you'll never, if you're like for you, if you're fired today, bro, depression loading. So stop thinking about money. Think about how to become better from inside, not from outside. You can still pray through your mind, the heart in the Bible. You can still pray, though your mind, I don't understand. The heart in the Bible means mind. You see the type of confusion that is there. Imagine somebody trying to confuse the heart and the mind. And this is an intellectual person, somebody who has actually read the Bible. Most of these people who have read the Bible are so confused. They're so confused. And then they think, just because they've read the Bible and they've understood the basics of Christianity, they think anybody who has never read the Bible is evil. They're judging already, but they know God. They know about God through the Bible. They've read about it. They've been taught about it. They've been taken to Sunday school. All their life, they've been in church. They pay tithe and all that. So they feel entitled and they want to model God into their own image. So they are thinking just because they know about God, every other person does not know about God. And that's how they end up with such statements. Even the Bible says, so they are now quoting the Bible. Even the Bible says. Even the Bible says, bro, you've read the Bible to just become an intellect. You didn't even read to understand the nature of God. You read to become an intellectual person. And that's crazy. You're in a fallen state, you need to see light. Our parents' responsibility was to teach us to seek God, but they failed to do that. This is the mindset. Let me tell you, you see that order that I mentioned, that God above men, men above women, women above children. The reality is, the one who is supposed to teach children matters of God is the earthly representation of God. That is the biological father. So a father is the one who is responsible for teaching the wife matters God, so that the wife can now teach the children what she has been instructed by the man. So if a man does not know God, the children will never know God, because the order is distorted already. But look at us nowadays. Women or our mothers were the ones who actually took us to church. Our fathers did not care. They were not even there. So our mothers are the ones who took us to church to be conditioned in a certain way, to think in a certain way. Yet we know very well our earthly representation of God is not in that building, is in the home. So most of us did not have a role model in our fathers. Our fathers were weak. They were afraid. They couldn't even correct the women. their wives. And then these wives of them, our mothers, they became angry at our fathers because they were weak. Every woman wanted a stoic and a strong man who knows God. But they attracted who they are. They attracted a male who did not know God, who did not have any thrill in life, who did not have any purpose in terms of chasing God or seeking God. His purpose was to chase an ejaculation and a society, a certain view in a society that, you know what, this gentleman is married, he has a family, he has some form of order, because we are always conforming to the cues from the society. So our fathers conformed to that, and the society became their God. So our fathers became so weak, and that's how they ended up being manipulated. And our mothers became angry at them, and because our mothers could not lash this anger at them, they projected this anger to the children, and they taught children anger. So children started hating their fathers with their mothers' hatred. And you see, the mothers are doing that not because they want to do that. It's because the spirit that lives in them was an evil spirit. So they were doing this in a foreign state. They didn't understand. Because the one who is supposed to actually raise them back into the righteous state is absent. And I said, we are going to get worse, because now the rate of single mothers is so high. It's so high because we have very weak males that come in and ejaculate. They cannot take responsibility for their own ejaculation. After ejaculating, they run away. Once they run away, now these women don't know how to raise children on their own, because they were supposed to receive some instruction from somebody who is above them. But because this one is absent, now the women suffer. And now the women have to teach their children anger. And now they remodel these children into their own image. Those children will suffer until they get to overcome the spirit of their mothers. And ladies can tell you this freely. When you get to a certain age, your mother does not want you in that house. Oh, it will be quarrels every single day. As a son, you get to a certain age, you still live with your mother. How is that even making sense? At 25, at 22, at 30, you're still living with your mother. How is it making sense? You hate your father, you resent your father, you're super emotional, and you're there living under your mother's roof. You're actually hoping that your mother dies one day so that you can actually inherit this house. So you're thinking backwards. Liz, are you there?
Doc, how are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm good.
How do you know you're good?
Oh, because
Your internet is a little bit sloppy. Are you able to hear us clearly?
I think it's my phone. My phone.
Okay, let's try again. Let's try. Take us through your story then. Let's just see. If we can't hear you, we'll drop you and then you come back.
I appreciate you, Doc.
Thank you.
Yeah. I really appreciate you. I follow you. I followed you since the managed to whom was suffering from addiction.
Liz, I'm not able to hear you clearly. You're breaking. Allow me to drop you and then you come back, okay?
Right.
Yeah, please. Let me just drop you so that your network stabilizes and then request back. I'll take you in. Good. Bring those questions on board. I want to answer those questions. Because by the time you're taking a break, when we come back, I want us to have a certain order. We want us to know where we are headed. We must put this channel in a certain direction so that we don't come back and we still say, unajua mimi sielewi kitu una preach. No, we are here to make sure you understand what I'm preaching. And already you've understood that it's not your problem. You're not responsible for being messed up. It is your parents that actually messed you up because your father did not know God. He became weak. And your mother became angry at him. And then they taught you anger. They imposed these emotions in you. Look at you as a child. You didn't know hate. You didn't know love. You're just there trying to live a life as a child. You didn't have fear. You didn't know what is good and what is evil. You just lived life because there was a spirit inside you that was actually guiding you. But now they taught you a false spirit that started controlling you and guiding you. And now you've become this type of messed up person. And then all the issues in terms of health, in terms of finances, in terms of life and marriage are not working because you have a messed up spirit and you're attracting who you are. Javan Leo, most men run away from this life. I'm used to that. Bro, call them males because men understand my language. Most males will run away from this life because they don't want the truth. And you know how they run away? Sometimes a wife is there watching this and has invited the man. Baba, kuja tuone hii kipindi usikie huyu jamaa anasemanga nini. And then you're seated there with your wife. In the beginning you're so excited. What does this guy have to say? Then this guy starts going deeper and doesn't filter anything. You're there looking, huu ni wa wapi? Which one is this one? Which one is this one? I'd rather sit in a bar than listen to this one. No. Now he start branding me. Yule daktari wako ndo anashinda akitusumbua huku. Now you become insecure. You're thinking, me, I will jump from this screen here and go grab your wife. Imagine that. So you become so insecure because you're thinking, why is my wife following this guy all the time? And women are thinking, why is my man always following this guy? Why? You're not man enough. You have to listen to somebody to actually tell you how to behave. Now you're putting that anger. The devil is trying to break your brain totally. You're getting mad for no good reason. And then you're still blaming Dr. Lewis. No, it's not me. It's the anger inside you that has to be fixed. Do you think we should follow all commandments? That is pricky. There's only one commandment. That do to people what you would want to be done to you. Simply love everybody. The only commandment is love. So if you're asking me if we should follow that, well done. Go ahead and follow it to the latter. But remember, you cannot have love without having an identity, the spirit of good. So you must overcome those that you resent, specifically your parents, so that you get your own identity, and that identity will be filled with love. And through that identity, you love people without thinking you love them. You just live your life. The best way to love people is to live your own life. Yes, Liz, welcome back.
Thank you, Doc.
Good. Share your story.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you for this opportunity. I have been following your videos.
What is happening?
And I'm so
What is happening? Liz, your internet is so unstable, and I'm interested in your story because it sounds interesting and inspiring. Your internet is breaking all through. The only commandment is love. And where do you get love if you don't have the spirit of good? How can you get love if you've not overcome the evil nature in you that was taught to you by your parents? Yes, Jen Njoroge.
Hi, Doc. How are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm well.
Yes.
Yes. Now, on this thing about knowing God and not just knowing about God.
Yes.
I'd like to ask, in matters we've been brought up, maybe, for instance, if I talk about myself, in Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
and then as you grow up, you interact with people from different religions.
Yeah.
But you come to realize, I don't even know why people would fight saying the God of Islam, the God of Christianity.
Yeah.
I come to feel like there is just one God, only that people personalize according to how maybe they've been raised.
Yeah.
And even maybe without even, maybe right now I know maybe about the Bible, but even without reading the Bible or the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
a sober person will still know that there is God.
Okay.
So, maybe just a question.
Yes.
Should we just eliminate all these things of religion and just see God as God in spirituality and not in religion?
Amazing question. Now, understand this. You can't do away with what you did not create. So you are in the world, but not of the world. Therefore, whatever is happening around you is none of your business. So you see, by the time you're thinking we have to do away with religion, that is actually making you go into the fallen state. The reality is you don't need to care. Okay, the reality is you fix you, because you came alone and you will live alone. So therefore religion stops to make sense when you understand that. And the spiritual aspect of life does not care about Christianity, does not care about Islam, does not care about Hinduism or Buddhism. What it does is it simply tells you that you're either of the good or of the evil. Choose you. If you have anger, you're fallen state. If you have false identities, you're in the fallen state. If you don't love people and you choose and you create opinion about things and judge people, you are in the fallen state. So you must overcome that false identity and come back and cross over to this other side. Once you have the spirit of good, that spirit will reveal things to you on how to do. Because remember, you are not responsible for anything. People taught you to actually think you're responsible for things. And mostly our parents, because the upbringing was started with them. They started conditioning us. So the reality is this: you might be a Christian because you are born in a Christian family. If you're born in any other family, it will be that family's dominion. If you're born in a Muslim family, it will be a Muslim. So the only issue is there is no broker between you and God, because you are born with God. You are born with God inside you. You are born with the Spirit of God inside you. You understand that? Once you know you are born with the Spirit of God inside you, you don't need to actually go looking for God in the church or in the mosque or everywhere or in the Bible or in the Quran. No, because you have Him. The only problem is you've not allowed Him to work with you, because somebody gave you the idea of who God is. That if you're a Christian, this is how you behave and this is how God wants. So they taught you the nonsense. Now it's time for you to shed off that nonsense by forgiving them, because you realized at some point they taught you the wrong things, and now you resented them for teaching you the wrong things. Now you know that you've seen light. You don't have to resent human beings because they were in a fallen state. So you simply go and tell them, you know what, as God wants me to forgive you so that He can actually forgive me, I forgive you. Or I apologize for resenting you for no good reason. Now that I realized you did not have any control over what you are doing, I apologize. Once you apologize to them, you overcome them. Now light starts shining on your side, because now you'll see the bigger picture. You will simply understand you're here alone and your parents don't matter. Nothing matters but you and your connection between you and your God. And your God is in your heart. So you awaken the spirit of light, and through that spirit, you get revelations on how to live your life. Therefore, you'll only do good. You will never know evil. And again, that spirit will protect you against the nature of evil. But our problem is we don't fix inside us. Yet God says, the kingdom of heaven is within you, is in your hearts. So we are constantly listening to our minds. And the devil knows this is a weakness. So he manipulates us through this. He deceives us through our minds. And now we think we are the better people. Now we think other people, because they are not following these commandments, they are the worst people. So we are judging them. And yet we know God. That's why God says, forgive others so that I can actually forgive you. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so your major role is not to care about religion. No. Your major role is to seek God by overcoming these false identities. Once you get that identity that you need, your life opens up to opportunities. And that's what you want.
Thank you. That's a great answer. I feel answered. Now, would you allow me maybe to ask just one question?
Yes.
In regard the diet, the way you say we should put a pinch of salt in our
Drinking water, yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, about maybe I'd say about breastfeeding mom.
Yes.
You will find maybe they are more thirsty, so they tend to drink more water.
Yes.
Would there be a limit of maybe the amount of salt they should use in a day without necessarily getting too much water retention?
The answer is no. The answer is they are so much into drinking water because they get dehydrated for drinking water. If only they added salt, they will not get the thirst. Because when you drink water without adding salt, you go and urinate after 30 minutes, you become more dehydrated. So if only they realize the trick is adding in salt so that they become hydrated, therefore the thirst disappears. You see that? And again, there's no way you can take in excess salt or extra salt, because you have functional kidneys, they will excrete excess. You have sweat glands, they will get it out. You have tear glands and the saliva. All those are channels that the excess salt can leave the body. So therefore, you can never have excess. So the trick is adding salt to actually get hydrated instead of just drinking water for the sake of it. You will get dehydrated.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Amazing stuff there. Amazing stuff. My friends, I used to wonder, why is it possible that I am a Christian, but I hate so much on Muslims? I see them praying. I'm like, why are these guys praying 5 times a day? And on the other side, I have Muslim friends that are looking at me and thinking, why does this guy that he doesn't even go to church? This guy does not even pray. I mean, how does he connect with God? He doesn't even pray. So all of us are busy in a fallen state just because we were taught something. So we defend what we know and what we were taught. Oh, the devil likes that. The devil loves that. He knows, this one, I've taken care of this one. And then he mocks God through you. Hata huyu ni wako. Huyu mwenye anafikiria anaomba na ananiomba gari. This one who is constantly praying, not because he's connecting with you. He's just trying to pray for his ego. Or because religion says you should pray 5 times a day. So he's just praying for the sake of it. So that he thinks he is living certain type of life. Now you are born, no one was born a Muslim, no one was born a Christian, no one was born a Hindu, or whatever dominion you are. You are not, you are taught. You are taught. You are taught. And that's one thing that people don't want to agree. Oh, you know what? I was born a Christian. You're not born a Christian. You're born to Christian parents. They taught you that. So it's time for you to find yourself. Once you find yourself, everything shall be added unto you. Seek ye first and the truth, and the rest shall be added unto you. Somebody is saying, do we need to go to the church? I am not banning you from going to that building. I'm banning you from going to submit to somebody to teach you God when you have God in your heart. I'm telling you that going into that house is not going to solve your problems. How many times have you gone into that house and still came out with anger? How many men go to church to just look at women because women dress in a certain way on Sundays? At the time I used to go to church and I'm busy texting women. I'm using that service as a time for me to just text women. I'm actually looking for sex because Sunday is when most Christians fornicate. Because now they have some freedom. On Sunday afternoon, most Christians are fornicating. Hello? That's the time your pastor is even texting you. Today you look beautiful. As you're singing, I'm just enjoying how you're shaking. And there you're busy singing in the praise and worship there. And the pastor is like, zooming. And you're zooming at the keyboardist. Today is putting on these trousers that are swinging, the the Colombos, and with a big coat. And you're just looking at him and saying, hi, hey, why does he just cough? I want to just instantly. I mean, I have the Sunday. My husband knows I've gone to church. My wife knows Sunday is the church for me. But you know what? I'll just go nichungulie kanisa. I'm out. As long as they saw me in church. If she asks, they'll tell him, tulimuona. How many Christians fornicate on a Sunday? You spared it aside to just be that day that you actually sin. You've seen how women dress on Sundays. 2 days after Friday. See the same women on Friday. And then see them on Sunday. You're like, yeah. Some people are going to church to find spouses, marriage. This one was ordained in church. Hey, you're there looking at this lady speaking in tongues. You're just like, this one I'm not leaving. This is the one who has been in LGBTQ for 30 years. Now she's here. Oh, she's found God. She's now speaking in tongues. By the way, speaking in tongues is a waste of your time. Oh, you're speaking to the devil. God is not a God of confusion. You're there, Chandra Kabbalah. I'm like, what are you saying? I told you the story about the gentleman who took me for prayers. My friend, we went for prayers at midnight. Kesha. I'm there, I'm praying, and and the ideas that are coming in my head is, why am I wasting time here and I need to be chatting somebody? Hey. Now I had to pray the way he's praying, because I prayed for 5 minutes or so and all my prayers were gone. I'm now like, sasa niombe nini? What next? Somebody saying, pray for me to lose weight. Weight does not come through prayer. Weight comes through fixing an identity so that you know the right things to do and you lose weight. Find an identity. Forgive those who taught you bad diets. So I'm there trying to pray. Nothing is coming forth. I'm like, why is this guy praying for all this time? 5 minutes are gone. I thought we were coming here for 5 minutes and just disappear. Kwani Mungu ajui shida zangu? I thought God knew my problems already. So why do I have to pray again? Look at the devil trying to control me. And I'm there praying, and we are facing the wall, lifting our hands. Wakuabudiwa ni wewe. Hey. Hakuna Mungu wewe. Facing the wall. And then I prayed, and then 5 minutes into it, I'm telling you the truth, and I know you can relate to this. My prayers were out. I didn't have anything else to ask from my father, the devil. I had asked for a car, I had asked for a house, I had asked for a wife, and now my prayers are done. I'm like, now what next? So now I started, that guy is called Edu. Now I started looking at him, just listening to see what is Edu saying so that I can repeat it. So Edu says things, I give him about 30 seconds to say things, I repeat the same things. I repeat the same things. Now Edu went deeper into the spiritual aspect. Edu went into speaking in tongues. I'm just hearing, oh, 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗓𝗧. I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is not. I don't think God wants me to do this. Swear. So I had to tiptoe getting out. Unfortunately, the CU chairman was seeing me going out. This guy comes, you know, those guys with suits and all that. He steps like he can't even step on a cockroach and kill it. He comes with the holy steps and holds my hand and tells me, brother, how are you? Why are you leaving so early? I'm like, bro, in my head, I'm like, bro, I have no much prayers to do. I can't stay here the whole night. I've prayed like Edu, but you see, Edu is still praying. Yeah, a guy tells me, oh, please, we still have a whole session for the night. Don't leave early. We need more of you here. I'm like, yes, sir, I'm coming back. Just allow me to hand this key over to a gentleman so that I can actually come back and pray wholeheartedly without any interruptions. Hey, I was so convincing. I sold the policy. That guy told me, okay, we'll be waiting for you. When he said that, I didn't even wait for him to say, we'll be for you. I said, wacha Mungu anipate mbele. Let God find me where he wants to find me, man. So I left Edu there. These guys were praying and then they take a break. So he was narrating the story in the morning. Oh, we used to pray and then after the prayer, we take some glucose, we get energy and we come back. So this guy stood the whole night. What for? And this guy comes out, he's still so angry. I'm like, Edu, he's still so tribal. You know, I'm Kikuyu. I'm like, kama huyu ndo Mungu tunaenda kuomba kwa hiyo ukuta. Hai. Suwe, acha ikae. Tawe. I didn't see sense, bana. It was so traumatizing. So yeah, I understand when you So I'm there in the church. If any case, I walked in the church and I scanned everywhere because I wanted to see the girls that are here. I was like, where are the girls? Am I going to pray alone? Where are the girls? They should be singing with sweet voices. You know, I'm the current day David. They have to sing with sweet voices and I just listen and get into the somber mode of just praying. Now God has to shuka. There are no girls here, just men with 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗓𝗧. I'm like, Tawe. Kevin.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm very fine, sir.
Talk to us, brother.
Okay, first of all, I want to relate with your story.
Yeah.
There's a church I went somewhere in South Sudan, a very, very big church.
Yes.
And then they are telling people to pray in tongues.
Please don't tell me the one that is along. Is it along? South B Road inaitwaje? Ni Southern Bypass. Hii kanisa iko hapo before Balozi Estate.
Yes.
The big one.
Big one. Round.
Amazing. Yes, sir.
So many days, my friends. Then they brought us the altar to pray. Then they say, people pray, pray, pray.
Yes.
Yeah, prayed for 2 seconds, all my prayers are wrong. I cannot say anything else.
I am not a madman. I am not a madman.
They look around me, people are having very serious faces.
Yeah.
People are crying and shouting. I have to just get out of that.
Bro, I've seen women crying, bro. And people are crying in that church. And I was actually judging myself. What is happening here? Why are people crying? Why is it like I don't have tears? What is happening? Tawe.
I saw my friend was crying and a few weeks ago we were just happy. Then he was crying. I've never seen him like that.
This guy moved on so fast. Amazing stuff. Welcome on board, sir.
Yeah, so I think you remember me.
Yeah, I do.
Because I was on the live last week on Friday,
Yeah.
and I told you about how I forgave my mother.
Yes.
So today I'm just giving an update of how I'm faring on.
Yeah.
This is my second week,
Uh-huh.
and you told me to keep on praying and praying because as the journey begins, you have to be strong in prayer as well.
Yeah.
And so far, things are just being revealed to me that have never been revealed to me before.
Yeah.
And this week I've noted like so many girls have been trying to reach out to me, something that has not been happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
I'm just getting messages, text messages from women I never used to talk before.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of attracting a lot more as well at my workplace.
Yeah.
And it's not even in my making, just naturally feel they want to talk to me and they'll feel like they want to confide the things in me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's all about, but that has never happened. So I also wanted to ask you that, is that natural? Is it supposed to be like that?
Good one, bro. Good one. That's a good question, bro. Ways of actually dragging you back into madness. And the devil can actually come in any form. And that can be one of the forms. But the reality is this, bro. Every woman out here is longing for a stoic man, a man who knows God, and a man who has an identity. Overcoming our mothers sheds off the feminine identity, and women want that masculine man. So, of course, they get attracted to a masculine man. But identify that these women, most of these women, are coming in without an identity. So, they have seen light somewhere. They don't know. They're still confused if they should go for the light. So, they're just trying to poke you to see, are you the same person? Some of them will be your exes coming in to see if you're still stupid. So what you need to do is, sticking in prayer actually makes you know and understand that the revelation will come to you. Whatever is happening around you is none of your business. You'll keep on handling yourself, okay? And then the revelation will keep on coming. Some of them will just win themselves off. And that's the beauty about it. You don't even have to fight. You just live your life comfortably. Walk through the processes, anything that happens, handle it, overcome it, and keep moving. But the beauty about this is, you will interact with these women and you'll realize empty women, hollow women, insecure women, and women who understand the nature of God. And you will see those who will actually submit automatically to you. You will see those who will be coming in to poke you to see your ego is still there, because there are those who know or already sense that this guy is taking a different path. So they are coming in to see, we will say labda na pretend tusinijuzi tu ameomba msamaha ama sijuzi tu huyu jamaa amekuwa tu amekaa hivi. So they are still judging you and still thinking, maybe he's still in the fallen state, we can relate with him, or they are lonely, so they are just trying to find company. Do not pay attention to that so much. Pay attention to what is happening inside you, because the revelations are coming inside here. Whatever is happening around you is none of your business at this moment in time. Whatever God wants you to do, he will reveal it to you, and you'll just do that. So stick in prayer and always doubt your thoughts, because I know there are thoughts that are coming into your head and telling you, you know what, now that you have this identity, now that you are attracting a lot of women, you're now masculine. You see, that's the devil trying to tell you. You're now masculine, so these women want you. Now you'll end up sleeping with them, and they will give you their false spirit, because sex is actually spiritual. They will impart their false spirits in you again, and you'll go back to the fallen state. So stay present, stay in prayer, and keep watching. Just keep watching, okay? Be aware of yourself and keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Also, one more thing.
Yes.
That maybe it might be like a challenge.
Yes.
At my workplace, I have my ex who's there.
Yes.
And it's so hard for us to look at each other. We pass each other, we don't talk.
Yeah.
When she sees me talking to other people, she feels so resentment, something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe you can try to advise me how I can navigate that, because me, I'm just focusing on myself. I don't feel bothered with her that as much. But there are always these feelings that come all the time, like maybe talk to her, maybe do this. You know, those feelings, those thoughts that come on your mind.
Yeah.
But I try as much as possible to move them away. So I don't know how I can navigate that. We are in the same department.
Yeah, get your mind off the past. Get your mind off the past and bring it here. Anytime you're trying to think of your past, the memories, they are in your imagination. Bring yourself back. There's nothing like your past. You don't have a past. You two don't have a past. You just knew each other and that's it. And you know each other now and that's just it. Now, by the virtue of you thinking that there are feelings and you're actually concerned about what she's thinking and all that and how she reacts to things, that means you're still on that journey of fixing yourself. You've not even overcome her completely. So do this. If you totally don't like and want this, because again, relationships at workplace are going to mess you up. So don't ever think of going back to her, because once she's gone, she wanted to go, that's it, bro. Close that chapter and keep moving. So the best thing you can do is actually because you still have resentment because maybe what happened. So go and face her and tell her, you know what, we worked together, we had some history, and yeah, that made me resent you and I don't like it, so I apologize. And then just move on with your stuff. Allow her to burn in her own hell until she finds light. She'll never see peace. Until she overcomes you also, she'll never see peace. So you need to overcome her by just going and talking to her and tell her, you know what, it was good while it lasted, and now that we are here and we can't avoid each other, I don't want to resent you for what happened between us. I apologize. Once you say that, leave. Don't wait for her to even respond. Because in her head, she'll start thinking you want her back. That's the problem. When she starts thinking you want her back, she starts texting you and all that and showing you concern and all that. Ignore all that nonsense. Once you've overcome her, just move on in your life. If she texts, let her be on red and move on.
Noted, sir.
Amazing. Amazing stuff, bro. Keep winning.
Thank you.
We are going to raise a generation of men that are going to take care of women. And you know what? This generation of men are going to be very minimal. That's the problem, because this is not an easy path. And these men are going to be flocked by all these women. So I'm telling you, because right now, we are suffering from a deficiency of strong men. Look at our politicians. Very weak, very much dominated, they just follow the wind. Very weak men, they don't have a stand. Look at our fathers. They were so dominated, they thought that they are staying here because they wanted to stay here. Of course, that's an institution that is ordained by God, but they did not God. They did not know God, so they suffered the consequences. They were dominated so bad, they became so weak. And women are so angry at these weak men. The women are so crazy. Women will lie to you that, you know, if you do this, women will love you. Women love a man who does this. Whatever they're asking for is not what they need. Trust me, they will tell you they want a tall, dark, and handsome man, and they are dating a very fat, brown, and whatever man, a short, round type of man. So whatever they're telling you is not what they want, because masculine and feminine nature, the energies just attract is not something they want. Whatever they want is what is in their heads. The devil is controlling them to think so. But if they find a masculine man, they get attracted to this man and they just align to that man. And they don't care. Wakianza kuambia, oh, you know me, I want this type of man. What a woman wants is not what she needs. Because what she needs is what she has. And she has a fat man. And she wants a man with six-pack. Yeah? She wants a man with six-pack. Instead of wanting a man who knows God. Six-pack can be added to you. If you know God, you'll know what to do to find a six-pack. But if you just know six-pack and you don't know God, you still grow obese. Oh, and women will move on so fast. And actually, I tell men, most times we don't dump women. If you think you've ever dumped a woman, you're lying to yourself. Just the same way, if you've ever thought that you had sex with a woman, you're lying to yourself. This woman allowed you to do that. So she actually thought about you before you even thought about it. Oh, you came in a minute late. Hey, Mupenda Pam. Hey, uni nani? Mupenda Pam. Where? How are you?
How are you?
All is well. We thank God for life.
I think it's both ways because
I don't. You've started from you've started from the middle. We don't understand the first part of the statement. So start from the beginning so that we can understand.
No, it's a long story, but I'm just saying. Sometimes, when you have a relationship with somebody and the children are involved, and then it's both ways. That the only person who suffers most is the person who is left with the children.
No, it's actually the children. Because you see, the one who is left with the children.
For me, I felt like.
Just continue.
Like for me, I was left with the children, and he moved on and married another woman with 3 of her children.
Okay.
It's been over 15 years, and God is good because what's wrong will turn up good, you know.
What do you mean when you say will turn up good?
My time, like my good time, my children hawakunisumbua sana. Walisoma though I'm in US, though watoto walitaka kuchukuliwa na serikali, but God akanisaidia, and things didn't turn out the way wangechukuliwa wakuwa adopted. Unaona? Because unajua huku ni system tu. Like mentally I was not right. Nikaanza kuchukua dawa za psychiatrist, unajua. And those medicines zenye nilichukua zikaanza kuwa na ile side effect ya like suicidal.
Okay.
Mimi nilikuwa suicidal.
Yes.
For a minute. Lakini nilikuwa tunajikaza. Nikiona watoto nashindwa sana nikijiua. Even last time I was talking about it yesterday. Last time nitakujiua in a parking lot at midnight. So na hizo dawa zilikuwa tu mimi sikuwa najua ni hizo dawa. So one doctor mmoja tu mzuri tu aliniambia siku moja ni Nigeria. Akaniambia hizi dawa mimi naona unachukua zitafanya watoto wachukuliwe. Kwa sababu ni setup umekuwa setup. Naona. Kwa sababu nilikuwa nalala saa zingine nikisha meza nikilala nimelala. Mtoto akianguka mimi sisikii. You know? So unajua nikaona ilikuwa so much on me. At that time nilikuwa na congestive heart failure. So there was so much at the plate, and the congestive heart failure nilipata kwa sababu ya epidural. I took epidural na nika OD kidogo, so wakanirudisha back. So heart yangu ikakuwa na problem kutoka hapo. So nikakuwa na mental issues, lakini sasa unaona I wasn't fit to take care of my children, na kukua kwa na mtu wa kuchukua watoto. Na unajua ukitoka nje sasa, ukiwa umetoka nje, it's hard to get somebody to take care of your children. Huku tunakuwa tu ni kama tuko lonely person. Na but thank God tu watoto walijilea. Mimi watoto wangu walijilea. Watoto walikuwa najua tu niko vibaya. And I remember my daughter, the oldest, she's a nurse practitioner right now. Aliniambia, "Mom, mimi tukikuwa adopted," by then she was young. Akaniambia, "If we are adopted, mimi nataka kwenda na Josiah because Josiah anakulanga sana." And Josiah akichukuliwa na mtu mwingine separately atasumbuka. Kwa hivyo mimi naona nikimchukua nikipoa chakula nitakuwa na share na Josiah. Because sometimes adoption in America inafanyikanga hivi. Mtoto anaenda kila njia yake. Every child goes their way. So, with that said, saa zingine mtu mwenye anabakianga na watoto, ile kama uko na heart, it depends. Women are different. Mimi nilikuwa na roho ya watoto kabisa. Siwezi kudanganya. Ilikuwa tu ni job. Church.
I have a question. Even though this story started from the middle, so I don't have the context, but I have a question for you. And my question is this: you've said that the one who carries the burden is the one who goes with the children, right? Were you married legally to this guy?
Yes.
For how long?
Yes, I was married legally. We had been married for 20 years.
And do you think you contributed in the breakup?
Unajua, like he was from another country. Na I don't want to mention names involved. Lakini ni watu wanapenda raha.
Do you think you played a part? Do you think you played a part? Do you think you played a part in your breakup?
I don't think I played a part, but the part that I played, naweza sema ya kwamba mimi nilikuwa na take burden za nyumba sana, na yeye sana anaenda Africa all the time. Unasikia tu yuko nyumbani Africa kila saa.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That kind of person unalipa.
Just continue.
What do you mean what?
What do you mean ulikuwa una take burdens za nyumba sana?
Yes, nilikuwa tu nikiona ameshindwa nilikuwa naona ameshindwa kulipa kitu fulani, mimi nalipa, nafanya kazi na I just take overtime and I pay the bills. So I'm sorry to say he was a pastor. So ananiambia anaenda mikutano. So with that said, I don't wanna nimeshashinda. I've overcome, lakini nilikuwa tunataka ku throw out there like mtu anabakianga na watoto kama hayuko focused. If it's a woman kama hauko focused, then watoto wanahangaika sana. Lakini kwa mtu ama father mwenye umetupwa na watoto uko focused, unahangaikanga sana because at that time unakuwa focus is not on you. Focus inakuwa sana ni kwa watoto kwa sababu unataka wasome, alafu one head, yani ni ngumu sana mtu mmoja.
I want you to
watoto waine by yourself.
I want you to see the bigger picture here. I want you to see the bigger picture. One, you started paying bills. Was this guy older than you, or were you older than him?
Older than me.
By how far?
He was like 6 years older.
Did he start paying bills after marrying you, or did he start paying bills? Did he fail to pay bills after marrying you because something happened, or immediately mlijuana hakuwa able to pay bills, so you thought, because I love this man, I have to chip in a little bit?
Tulikuwa tuna pitch in, as you know, tulikuwa maskini sisi wote.
Oh, so you guys shared bills from before even getting married?
Yes.
All right.
We got married immediately. Tuliona kanisani, and we started. Niliolewa nikiwa msichana na tukaona akiwa kijana.
Okay. What was your major reason why you got married to this guy?
Because I thought ninampenda, and I thought ananipenda.
Do you know women are incapable of loving men?
We love each other.
But do you know you are incapable of loving a man as a woman?
You know, by then uko very young and naive. Haujajua mambo ya dunia. Sasa nimezeeka.
No, but marriage is not mambo ya dunia. Marriage is an institution ordained by God. It's nothing to do with the world. So I want you to understand, because you got married in church, and there are people who are going through your story, and your story can actually teach somebody a lesson.
I think I'm writing a book soon. Nimemaliza kitabu. I'm on my process to finish kitabu changu. But I think I'm not sikukuwa hapo ati to say that unajua.
Why are you running? Do you know God, or do you know about God?
I understand mwanaume. I know God.
How do you know God?
I think we are getting out of the topic.
No, stop running. Just answer the question. Just stick to my questions. You came to my platform. Stick to my questions and just answer them. Why are you running all the time? You started the conversation in between. I'm trying to find a bearing. You keep on running. You've told us how you've written a book. We don't even understand your story already. Now we are in book. So you're running. I want you to stick to the topic, because it's me who is guiding you through this. So I want us to know, because you came here with a reason and you wanted to inspire somebody. So therefore you must stick to the conversation.
I know God because, okay, I have majored in Christian ministry. So I know God.
Do you have anger?
I've majored in Christian ministry. And, so I can't say, yeah?
Do you have anger?
No, I don't have anger.
Do you get angry?
I used to, when I was not getting hungry, like.
No, angry.
What angry do you talk about?
Wewe ukasirika.
Everybody gets angry in different ways.
I'm asking you, do you get angry? I'm asking you.
I don't get that. I'm not always.
I'm asking you, do you get angry? I'm not asking about everybody.
When a kid does something that I don't like, it's just a normal, but I don't have that temper of getting out of control now.
Do you get angry?
I get angry.
So do you have anger?
As a person.
Do you have anger?
I've never gone to an anger management class, no.
That's not my question. My question is, do you have anger?
What do you mean by anger?
You said you get angry. So my question is, do you have anger?
What kind of anger do you talk about?
Stop classifying anger. Anger is just one, just the same way love is one. You can't classify anger. Do you have anger?
Yes, but there's anger, and there's anger out of control. People who
I don't know.
Go to classes at anger management.
But why are you jumping the horses already?
In US,
why are you jumping the horses?
People are out of control.
It's not about where you are. It's about everywhere, and the spiritual aspect of life. Anger is just anger, whether in the US or in Saudi Arabia. Anger is anger. Do you have anger? Yes or no?
Yes. I'm just saying there's some people who are angry and they're out of control. But I get angry.
Mpenda Pam, If you stick to my questions, you will save time and you will understand where I'm headed to. Stop going into your thoughts so much. I just want you to stick to the questions, and once you answer the questions, you'll see what I'm trying to get to.
You are so serious. That's the problem.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You are behind me.
I'm not serious. I want to get the context. I want to get the context. So stick to yes or no, and you'll see.
I wasn't trying to diminish you.
No.
I was just trying to help out.
But you can't help out by running. You can't help out by running.
I can't run.
So,
why should I run? I'm old.
So you said you have
I can't run from situations.
You said you know God, and then you said you have anger. What gets you angry?
Just as normal as a person, when something is done that you didn't like, you control the anger. You don't like what is done.
By who?
So you get
like you.
Specific. You can say something like, I can give an example. You know, for now, maybe my kid does something that I don't like.
Okay.
I just get angry about it, and I correct it, and I move on.
Good. So your kids get you angry at some times, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes when they do things that I know they will get them in a bad place, in a bad spot.
Good.
I get angry about it.
Who has
control? That doesn't mean
who has control over your emotions?
Myself.
So how then can your children trigger your anger? Does that not mean you just have anger inside you and your children provide a chance for you to exercise your anger? Because nobody can trigger your emotions if you have control over your own emotions.
No, it's not that anger. Anger is like, yeah. I don't know how to answer you. I don't know how to answer you.
I'll repeat.
I don't know what you're talking about anyway now.
If you have control over your emotions, what is that? What is that thing that will?
I don't understand what you're saying.
That's why I'm repeating.
I don't know. I didn't get your question really right about anger.
That's what I'm asking.
But
I'm repeating the question.
Sorry if I'm not answering right and not enough.
What is your book about?
Just let us stop there. I don't think you are excited or happy.
No,
about what I'm talking
but you
about.
see, I can't.
It's
But
okay.
I don't need to be excited, or I don't need to be excited about what.
It doesn't have to end like that.
I don't need to be excited about what you're saying. I mean,
Yes, it's all right.
What is the context of your?
Right. I was just contributing, and maybe to you, you wanted some people who are better, you know.
What do you mean?
Better educated like you.
What do you mean?
You know that maybe you wanted the uppity people like you, educated in health like you.
How would I know? How
was expressing wasn't up to what you wanted.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
How would I know? How would I know you're not educated?
I'm sorry.
How would I know you're not educated?
Maybe to you, everybody has got a standard of their education.
So how would I know? How would I know you're not educated?
Some people feel like health is the most educated.
There we go.
You know, some people, if you tell them I'm educated in health, then they think you're uppity.
Okay.
You know.
But did you know this is a platform that we help people? We help.
I'm a doctor. That's uppity.
Do you know that this is a channel that helps people overcome anger and overcome false identities in form of pride? That we don't have to share ego here. What we come here is to learn. Did you know that?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you too. You can have a platform, I understand, and people come in different forms. I understand that part. But the other thing is that when somebody comes, you don't have to diminish and make them feel so stupid on your platform.
How did I make you feel stupid?
So much in life.
How did I make you? How did I make you feel stupid?
Because of your words. Your words are so strong as a man.
Which words?
Because of your words.
Which words?
Your words. Your words that you made me feel like anger. I don't get it.
But you said you said you have control over. You said you have control over your emotions. So how does my words? How can my?
You wanted to put me in a fix.
How?
To feel diminished.
How?
To feel down, and I've been there. And you can't make me feel that kind of way.
Amazing.
Because I've overcome so much in life.
But I thought if you overcome
so much.
I thought if you overcome so much.
Let nobody.
That's the point. I
wouldn't let nobody at this point.
Yeah, that's the point. I thought if you overcome so much, my words.
Because I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. I thought if you overcome so much, my words could not trigger you. Why are you triggered?
Yeah. No, I'm not triggered because I feel you want to take me back to some places, spots that I feel.
Oh, so it's not the reality. So it's not a reality. It's in your feelings, right?
If unajua kama unajua njia itaenda vibaya, ni vizuri kuachana na hiyo njia. Unajua.
But you have to overcome your problems. You can't. You must face and overcome your problems. You can't. You can't run away from your. You can't run away from your challenges. You must face them. How can you overcome challenges by running away from them?
I don't have to go the route. I can't go to the route that somebody wants me to go.
Yeah.
Unaona? Unaweza kuwa unanipeleka njia, unaniambia rafiki yangu, kuja twende kunywa pombe.
Okay.
Unasikia? I have the audacity and the right to say hii njia nilipita siku moja na haikuwa nzuri.
But sasa but hapo si mistake ni yako.
Njia zingine zinaonekana ni sawa mbele za macho ya watu.
Si hapo mistake ni yako, juu ndio ulipita hiyo njia. Mimi sijapita hiyo njia. So if I want to pass through that route, why would I be afraid of passing through that route just because you've passed through it and you suffered? Is that not you trying to control me?
No, not that I'm telling you that. I understand.
I want you to cool down. Yes. Just take a glass of water. Yeah. Take a glass of water and relax.
Niko na mambo yangu.
Take a glass of water and relax. We need a conversation.
I overcame. I was there.
Amazing.
I overcame.
Amazing.
Kunywa maji nilikunywa kwa psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Nikakunywa kwa nani ka overcome 15 years ago.
And this is the problem. The problem is we think that
mentally unajua watu wanaonanga.
The problem is
you are talking from the point of health.
The problem is
you are talking to somebody who was a victim.
The problem is you thought going to a psychiatrist.
Ukiwa unajua. Let me finish this. I'll sahau.
Okay.
So ukishajua ya kwamba hii kitu ni kibaya. Kuna njia unaweza kurudia na kuna njia unaambia roho yako sitarudia njia. When you get old you are going to understand. Kuna vitu kwa roho yako ulifanya ukiwa 18, unaambia ukifika 30 unasema hey hiyo njia kweli nilifanya. Na sasa mimi nishabomoa niko retirement huko tu. Kuna vitu siwezi kurudia tena katika maisha yangu.
Yeah. So you said you know God, but how would you know God and still be how do you know God and still have all this anger?
Listen, ulikuwa unasema anger
is the nature of evil.
I don't know which anger, or if you can define anger to me. Your point of view.
What you just expressed.
Define anger.
What you just expressed.
Define anger. No, define it in a language that everybody can understand it.
If any case, everybody here has understood anger through what you just expressed. It's only you who doesn't understand you're angry because you're in a fallen state. And until you face your challenges and overcome them, you face that anger and overcome it, you still suffer.
Let me tell you, you are angry and arrogant.
Amazing.
You are angry and arrogant.
Okay. What is the evidence?
You are arrogant, as you can be. The way you're talking.
Okay.
Arrogant. You are.
So allow me to ask you.
Maybe nobody has told you are so arrogant.
Yeah. Allow me to ask you the last question. Allow me to ask you the last question.
You're asking a stupid person.
No.
Why should you ask me?
But you've written a book. So I wanted to ask about that book because my audience could be interested in buying.
Stupid people write stupid stuff.
My audience
You
could
don't have to read it.
my audience would be interested in buying a copy, and so tell us about the book so that we can actually know if it comes out we can actually
Not
purchase a
your
copy.
audience. I don't really need your audience.
All right.
I just need to write a book, just a book, not an audience to read.
I wish
because of your audience.
No problem. I wish you well. I hope that you can actually get to overcome it, and I hope that anger can actually be dropped. You are somebody who is in the church, and it's easy that now people can actually understand the reality is. You can imagine if this is what people are dealing with out here. You can imagine that I'm trying to roll a conversation with you, you're constantly running, and you even accused me of being arrogant, and I'm just trying to run a conversation with you to understand your story.
No, the conversation is going right.
I wouldn't want... Listen.
The problem is that you're not...
I wouldn't want you to be up on my platform that much. I wanted to actually help you and assist you overcome your anger, so I can't allow you to keep on ranting. We can easily see why that gentleman disappeared, because the reality is, every man wants some form of peace. And this is a man who did not find peace. So he kept on running away because he was trying to find peace. And we can't judge him. We can't say anything because we don't know him. We haven't had a conversation with him. We've had a conversation with you. And we started off a little bit off because you started this from the middle because you didn't want us to know the real story. So you're actually playing us and playing God. And you're thinking you've overcome it. But you can imagine 15 years ago, you still have the anger up to now. You say the one who is left with the children is the one who suffers most, but you didn't raise these children because you said at some point they had to grow on their own. So your children are just as messed up as you because they are so angry just like you. And until they get to overcome you, they will always suffer the consequences. If any case, they will also end up being left by men just the same way. Your daughter will end up being left by men just the same way you were left. Why? Because you've imposed your identity in her. And she might be sounding just like you, and I hope one day we can roll a conversation with her. So you're writing a book, you don't want to talk about it. We understand that. You would have just said, I don't want to talk about it. But you see, you're writing a book, and I'm thinking this book is going to inspire the next generation. But how can you even write a book with all this anger? How is that even making sense? Even the laughter alone could tell a lot of things. That laughter alone. And I understand you because guilt, insults, and the need to feel right are the things that actually made you shout, and because you wanted to feel so right. And you were busy reading the comments, so you wanted people to actually side with you. And yeah, possibly you got some few to side with you because they have the same ego like you. But the reality is, the real world is inside you. You can call me arrogant if you want to, but the reality is, I'm trying to actually fix you. And one day you'll come back and listen to this conversation, and I'll actually cut it and post it that way, so that one day you come and listen to yourself and just understand how messed up the world is. And I believe possibly you attracted a man who was as chaotic as you are, even though he was in a pastor mode. You attracted a man who was as chaotic as you are, and he ended up running away because he couldn't take responsibility. But imagine this, you are even saying you did not have a responsibility in that breakup, but you allowed this man to have 4 children with you. To pop 4 children out of your womb for this man, but you can't even take responsibility. 4. At least one would say, maybe there was a problem, but 4. And now all the blame has to go to the man because you visited a psychiatrist who actually related with you. 4 children for one man from the same womb, the same man, and he kept on creating excuses. Gave him 1, gave him 2, 3, and 4. And then you're saying you took care of the children. How did you take care of the children when you're visiting psychiatrists? You're literally going crazy. You're on antidepressants and all that. Drugs for psychiatry. So how did you take care of children? How can you take care of children in that state of mind? You didn't know God. You knew about him because you went to church and all that. And this is the same thing that is happening to people out here. We go to church, we come out with the same problems. We think marriage is in a church. It is not there. And then because of the need to feel right, oh my God. Hey, she was busy shouting. But the reality is she knows that this is the first time she has encountered a masculine energy. This is the first time she was thinking, should I drop or not? The first time you realize somebody can play cool when you're just talking. And you see, by virtue of you shouting doesn't mean you're right. We are interested in conversations. We are not interested in anything else. Conversations. So by shouting doesn't mean you're right. You can shout on the top of the mountain, and again, you went ahead to judge yourself by thinking that I'm so educated just because I'm running these platforms. But before you came in to request to be a guest, you actually knew that this is Dr. Lewis. So why are you intimidated by me being a doctor? I don't even know you. I don't even know your qualifications. Possibly you're the best doctor in this world. Imagine that. But you've taught us a good lesson. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We hope that one day you get to see light and then come out of the fallen state. Amazing. Amazing. Hey, she was busy in the comment section. Who is this? This one is not, the internet is not right where she is. So I'll pick another one. Oh, I was there. I used to be so angry. I used to want to feel right. Every time I was shouting to feel just right. I was just busy in comment sections trying to type things so that I can actually get the validation that I wanted. Sometimes I got it, I felt good, but it was just a thrill. Once it's gone down, I'm again shouting in the comment section. It doesn't work that way. Because again, it's not me who is fighting. It's you who is fighting against yourself. Amazing stuff. Yes, Somso.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, how are you?
All is well.
Amazing. Talk to us.
Okay, I want to share my story.
Yes.
I was brought up by a single mother.
Yeah.
And I have been in this channel for long, so I have been here for Identity Fridays.
Amazing.
So last year on my birthday, I decided to go to her and maybe ask about my dad.
Yes.
So the moment I asked her the question, she almost busted.
Hell broke loose.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She told me never to ask her about that.
Yes.
That they broke up even before I was born.
Yeah.
And and the man doesn't know whether even I was born or not.
Yeah.
So she told me since she took the responsibility of bringing me up alone, I should never ask her about that man, because the moment they broke up, she has never looked for him again. And they had met in college, so the man didn't know her place, her home. So there's no way maybe he would have traced her.
Yeah.
So in that, okay, then she got married and got I have two sisters.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, also the dad passed away in an accident when I was around 6 years.
Okay, so that is now the second husband to the second boyfriend to your mother.
Yes, the second husband.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
She got married when I was around 3 years.
Yes.
And at 6, he got an accident and passed away. So from there, she didn't get married again.
Okay.
And so I wanted now the process of forgiving.
Yes.
So in that case, I just asked her for forgiveness. And she told me she has forgiven me, even for issues I didn't know even I caused her pain. She started giving me stories then.
Yeah, emotional move.
Times I caused her pain.
Yeah.
And I asked her for forgiveness. So I wanted to know whether that is enough, or what else should I do?
First things first, you did well to actually ask about your father. That was a natural instinct. Every child longs for their biological father, whether he's a drunk person in the trunk, whether he's whatever he is. Every child longs for their biological father. So you did well to ask that question. Unfortunately, she blocked you from that because, again, we can't judge her. She's in a fallen state. So she blocked you from that. But I'm glad you still went ahead to ask for forgiveness from her. And I want you to understand this, that when women block their children from their biological fathers and then end up marrying other husbands or other men, The problem is they have to divide their attention and their love between this new man and their children. Now these children end up suffering. And when they suffer, they resent their mothers, they become just like their mothers. So the reality is you've already done well, you went and forgave her. Once you did that, that was your part. That was what you needed and you won the battle. You don't need to care about your father anymore because you don't have control over that. The only thing you need to do right now is to stick in prayer. A silent prayer every single time. Anytime you're going through a hard time, go deep, do that meditation in the silent prayer and keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when this, so you moved in with your mother to this other guy's house, Oma?
Yes.
Okay, and then he died when you were 6 years. So who raised you then? Your mother alone?
Yes, alone.
Good.
In fact, where she was married,
Yes.
they started the issues and she went back to her father's house.
Yes.
So that is where we were brought up.
Okay.
And then there was an aunt, now my uncle's wife,
Yes.
who was very abusive
Mm-hmm.
when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So in that case, do I also need to go to her because most of the time she was with her because my mom was working.
Okay. Is she still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to actually face her and overcome her, because you see, if you remember all that she did up to now, it means you resented her. So you need to overcome her, because now that you realize it's wrong to resent people, you need to apologize to her and then just move on. If she pulls an emotional move like your mother, understand that that was supposed to come through anyway. So do not even care about what she says. Just go and apologize, overcome her, and keep moving. And already we can easily see your path, because from how you're sounding, from how you're actually conversing, very composed, very feminine, we're already seeing a brighter you in the present. So yeah, stay focused. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing stuff.
Okay. Another question, concerning my mom.
Yes.
She's around 64 or thereabouts. I'm not sure of her age because, I'm not sure of her age.
Yeah.
So, we spent like 2 weeks with her over the holidays. And I can tell you she's so bitter about things she went through when she was young.
Yeah.
She's talking like they happened yesterday.
Yes.
And you could tell she has some bitterness that even when she sees something on the TV that is maybe someone who is not looking like the way she thinks he should look like it. Sasa huyu anakaaje?
Yeah.
She is so bitter about everything around her. Even the children used to like her so much, but nowadays they are like fearing her because she is harsh, bitter. And when she starts sharing about her past, like now they were retrenched before the retirement age.
Yes.
And that was 2009. And when she was telling us about it, and you could see like it happened yesterday. She was so bitter about it.
Yeah.
Then, like now we have Gen Z's children, when she sees them with the phone, sasa watoto wanashinda kwa simu, okay, she's bitter about anything around her. So how can we help her on that?
You can't help her. She will suffer in her own hell until she sees light, so that she can actually overcome what she's suffering from. So it's not your role here to fix people. Your role is to fix yourself. And through fixing yourself, you will inspire her to fix herself. So keep focusing on yourself, constantly inspire yourself, constantly fix yourself. If she ever gets to see light through you, she'll get to overcome her own evil nature. For now, allow her to suffer in her own nature, because through suffering, she'll know God. That's when she'll start seeking God. So you can't come through for her. You're not Jesus. You can't do that. Allow her to just suffer and go through that, endure the suffering, and then she'll come back. Yeah, so just let her suffer.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. The last question. Now, the way I came from a Christian background and we were brought up in church.
Yes.
And now we are doing the same to our children.
Yes.
So, and now having known the light through this channel, and we have already enrolled these children to Sunday school and all that, how do we enlighten them? Because their mind is now stuck to what we are teaching them on Sundays.
Yeah.
The Bible. The same thing that we went through is what we are doing to them.
Yes. Children will.
How do you go about it?
Amazing question. Children will learn through observation and imitation. Allow children to be children. Let them grow the way they want to grow. Of course, they are here for a reason. But do this, What you can do is, now that you've seen the light, you will get the revelation through that spirit to actually raise these children. So you'll never have to seek for somebody to teach you how to raise those children, because they are not your children. They are children that belong to God. And God will guide you on how to raise them as long as you have an identity. And now that you're on that path of getting your complete identity, don't worry about anything. Don't worry about those children, because your only worry is to seek God, and the rest shall be added unto you. So once you have that fixed, the revelations will come from God through that spirit, and you'll know how to raise these children. So no worries. Don't even think about tomorrow. Stay present. Focus. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Amazing. Amazing. Amazing stuff. What are you saying? Our mothers were so bitter. Imagine, most of us, it's not like we don't like our fathers. Every child has a hole and a void inside them for their biological fathers. The problem is, our mothers have taught us to resent our fathers with their hate. Whatever happened between you and between her and your father is none of your business. So they got angry because the fathers were weak. But you see, they're the ones who attracted this men. So they were weak inside, they attracted weak men, and they can't stand the person they are seeing in the mirrors. So it's now a blame game. Imagine, she tries to block you. She even tells, you know what, we met in college and all this disappeared there. Some of you have been told, babako aligongwa na tifa. Your father was hit by a lorry and he died. Yet your father is still there. And then one day your father pops and says, you know what, I am your biological father. And she'll be there playing the guilt trip. Oh, he left me. He left me alone. You see, I've raised you from the time you were 6 years. You can imagine. He disappeared. He was just here to have fun. All that noise, ignore it. Your role is to fix yourself. Don't even care about your mother. Don't care about anybody. You don't love anybody. Don't be lied to. You can't love if you have hate, if you have anger. You can't. So seek God, and then through that, God will reveal to you on how to raise your children and how to lead your life. And again, that spirit of God will protect you against the evil nature of the world. You are in the world, but not of the world. You are in the world, but not of the world. I'm doing the last person, and we call it a night. This is amazing. And you can easily see the feminine aspect of women. They'll talk very smoothly. They'll not be loud. They'll not shout. They'll not argue. They will listen. That is the feminine nature of a woman. Yes, who is this? Munene?
Hello.
Kindly mute your background. I don't want to listen to myself. Yes, talk to us, bro. How are you? Munene has muted plus the phone. Munene, you're live on air. We've done 2 hours for... Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Why am I hearing? Yes. Why am I hearing myself from the background, sir? The background is still making the noise. I don't want the noise in the background. Just mute the TV or something. Yes. Yes. Allah.
Oh, mimi baby.
Go ahead, sir.
Unanisikia? Unakwambia mimi kuna pale tunafanya kazi na tunakuanga na wamama wengi. Sasa kwa hiyo grupu ya mama wanakuanga wanaongea mshene sana. Mpaka mimi saa hii nimekuwa mtu wa mshene. Sasa ni hadi naweza avoid hiyo wengine. Mpaka zaidi yani sikai mwanaume na kaa tu kama mama.
How do you know you don't look like a man? I admire your honesty though.
Ni eti kuna vitu vingine naongea pia mimi naanzia tunajiona tunakaa kama wao tu.
Yeah. Hey, this is interesting. I wish I was not listening to myself from the background, because this would have been a good conversation. I don't know what is happening in the background. Kindly just mute so that I can make my comments. Hey, kazi yetu ni ngumu. Anyway, brother, you have no control over the circumstances that are around you. That's the problem. The problem is we constantly focus on what is happening around us. But imagine, I admire your honesty. Imagine from inside you, you see that totally I am on the foreign state. And you know what? The more you become, the more feminine you become, the more those women will resent you. They will even gossip about you at your back, in your back, bro. They will talk about you and they will keep telling other people how you're full of gossip, how you behave like a woman. So the reality is this, bro. First, start by detaching from these women, not in terms of the job, but start detaching from the nature of them. Because you sit near them, you sit in their groups as they are speaking and gossiping, you're there also gossiping with them. So detach. But you cannot detach if you don't have an identity. And allow me to tell you this for free, brother. You have to overcome the nature of your mother. You start from there before even knowing how to actually tell these women what to do and correct them, because it's your nature to actually bring back order in these women. Wherever they are, your daughter, your sister, your workmates, your mother and your grandmother, all of them are just women. They behave along the same wavelength, emotional wavelength. So they'll react to things the same way. So if there is a stoic man here, this man will actually make sure that these women go back to where they belong. You will actually control their emotions. You see that gossip they are doing is because they are so hollow. They're just looking for a place to get company. And apparently, you as the male, you are there encouraging them to get more crazy. So they're living in a fantasy world. It's you to actually correct that. So go and forgive your mother. Just go and face your mother and tell your mother, you know what? I have realized I've been resenting you for no good reason. And I apologize. Because you're thinking that these women are the ones who are making you feminine. That's not true. The reality is the nature of your mother is inside you. And that is the nature that's actually making you more feminine. So go and forgive your mother, overcome that nature of a woman inside you. And once you overcome the nature of that woman, go and forgive your father. So that you reconnect with the spirit of your father. Once you reconnect with the spirit of your father, you will know how to actually tell these women the right thing. You will know how to detach from them. But if you focus on what is happening outside you and fail to focus on what is happening inside you, you're missing it. Understand that your real world is happening inside you. So you must go and overcome that nature of a woman inside you for you to actually know how to handle these women. So start by forgiving your father, your mother, and then go and forgive your father so that you become of the nature of good. And that spirit will guide you on how to behave around these women and even how to guide them so that they actually go into their feminine nature and they appreciate working with you. At this moment, they don't appreciate working with you. They will even send you to go and find some 𝗓𝗓 to gum so that you can actually spice things up. And you will not walk out of that trap because women are so sharp and so cunning. And because they have numbers, you will become more feminine. So go and forgive your mother, go and forgive your father. You will have an identity. You will know how to guide these women because God will reveal things to you through that identity. Amazing.
Thank you.
Karibu, brother. But don't even worry about anything else. Don't even worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about how you will behave tomorrow. At this moment in time, as you're fixing yourself behind the bus, you go and enjoy the time. Just go there and gossip, but understand in your head that you're doing the wrong thing. Don't judge yourself. Be present. And when your mind starts going into the future or in the past, stay present. Bring it back to present. And then work on yourself, overcome the nature of a woman inside you. After that, my friend, you are a superman. These women will start actually respecting and submitting to your will. You'll even tell them what to do and they will do it without asking questions. But now you're feminine. Oh, they're thinking you're their fellow woman, sorry. So they're enjoying the company that you're there, but they will be gossiping you because they're thinking, what is... Huyu anapenda mshene aje. They're actually telling other women that, ule achana naye mshene mingi. Ule achana naye, too much noise. So ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to call it a night. Yeah. Oh, there's one guy here. I think Jay. Let me just hear what Jay has to say before I call it a night. The last guy. So ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to roll it up. We've done 2 hours 48 minutes. Imagine that. 2 hours 48 minutes. And I'm glad that now people are getting the gospel. They understand it even better. Yes. Jay, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
All is well. Talk to me, brother.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you consume the seed oil,
yes,
and the 𝗘𝗩𝗜𝗏, where does it go to your body?
But you see,
how will your body differentiate between the 𝗘𝗩𝗜 and seed oil?
But you see, sir, this is a lesson for Identity Fridays. How can seed oils come into Identity Fridays? And you see, this is a platform for Identity Fridays. We fix identities here. Any question that comes in terms of diets and all that, find health and wellness spot and simply search saturated and unsaturated fats or inflammatory foods. Get all the information that you need. Sit down, learn and relearn. Once you've done that, you'll never have to ask that question again. So put in the work. Yeah. This is an Identity Friday stuff. So yeah. Identity Fridays. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking your time to be here. You've been here for all these 2 hours and 49 minutes, and it's been amazing having you on board. My YouTube channel is Health and Wellness Sport. Any matters concerning health, them on Health and Wellness Sport. But any matters concerning identities and fixing anger and emotions and the spiritual aspect of life, you'll find them on the second YouTube channel called Dr. Lewis Muchile, or Hose with Dr. Lewis, HAWS with Dr. Lewis. Go and subscribe on those 2 platforms. And if you're on YouTube right now, kindly consider liking the live. I'm actually interested in those likes because that will help us spread the channel. It's a new channel, it has to grow, so keep on spreading it. So thank you so much for being here. We will see you on Tuesday for our physical consultations. We are taking a break today until mid-February, when we come back after the physical consultations in Nairobi. So thank you so much for being an amazing audience. Thank you for being patient with us. You would have been somewhere doing something, but you decided, you know what, I have to be here and make sure that I fix my identity. I don't take that for granted. I bless all of you, and I hope that all of you who are interested in fixing their identities can actually go ahead and do it by forgiving our parents. Okay, overcome that nature of false identities, overcome that anger, and you'll become a superhuman. We are interested in you having a perfect peace from inside you, and you'll never have to seek external validation from people. So God bless you. I hope you see light from the window that actually saw light from. I'll see you around. Have a good night.